What the fuck?
Welcome back, everybody. You know what show this is, and you know who I am. And you kind of met this guy last two shows ago?
2.
Yeah. But we're going to get to know him even better. So, welcome to the show, Blake Camlin.
Well, hello. How are you?
My
Happy
boy.
to be here. We missed our Thursday hangout last
We
week.
did.
Yeah.
Well, you were,
I was
you were-
tired. I was resting on that
you
Thursday.
were plumb tuckered out, weren't you, fella?
I was.
Yeah.
Still am.
Are you? Yeah, you look tired.
Yeah.
Seemed tired when you came in. Wonder if that's anyone's fault.
My own.
My own. Yeah, well, I imagine you had some help with that.
Oh, I did.
We won't talk about that because he asked me not to.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Anyways, so like Blake, there's shit I learned about you last time. I didn't realize that you had, gone to college for multimedia stuff, and you worked at like the news channel and all
Channel
that
4
stuff.
News.
Yeah, I had no idea.
WJXT for one. I interned for like whatever. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you got closer than I did.
Yeah. Well, you're not missing much.
No, it's really. Like I said, every time anybody brings up that channel, or like the news or whatever, I've been to one of those places, and it's kind of, maybe it was just the time we were there, like the time period, like the actual time of the day, but it was just really not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of boring in there for the most part, and I don't know. All the news you find out comes from one source.
Yeah.
Really, the Associated Press.
Right.
And they give you all the big stories. Then local news stations do their local news stories that appeal to the people, their audience. But all the big stories, it's all one place, and you just realize it's so much propaganda. It drives me crazy.
I love how you casually look over at Patrick as to say, I'm inviting you into this conversation.
I am here, brother. I am deep in the weeds with you.
We're going to talk about propaganda, and we may veer off
But yeah, no, I did those things. I
Yeah.
did the thing. It was super fun. I think the most fun was I got to go to a couple Jaguars practices and film the Jaguars.
That's cool.
And then I got to go to Suns games and film the Jacksonville Suns. That was fun. And then halfway through, the guy I'm working with was like, "Just go drink." It's like, sick.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. That's always nice.
Yeah.
No, that's good, man. That is something that I'd like to do, but I'm not I don't know. I'm not chomping at the bit to do it.
Yeah.
But it would be cool, to go and do that, be on the sidelines or whatever. But you also, well, let's just say, okay, you left me
You bastard.
and everyone else here. No, you took off and went to California. How many fucking years ago?
2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
About 14 years.
Yeah, that's a long time. But you went out there to forge your own. Honestly, I'm just going to say these are questions that I don't think we ever talked about or ever got the chance to ask or even thought to ask. But what was it that drove you out there?
Oh, I mean, this is simple. I graduated college.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't really have any jobs lined up. I was going to come back to Jacksonville and look for a job or whatever. And, a longtime friend of mine called me up who had been in California for a while. Was like, "Hey, I'll pay you $30,000 to help me grow some weed." And I was like, sick. I love both of those things.
Yeah.
And then I went there. And then I was there for 14 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I've often been, curious as to what your day to day was, and like what, because and I don't know how much of this we can really talk about. You'll stop me if I say anything out of line, or politely decline to respond. But like, you kind of branched out on your own,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Things were good in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the Wild West when
Yeah.
I first got to California with all that stuff. It was weird as far as like the legality of things, right? You could get your medical license and you can grow a certain amount, but you're not allowed to sell it.
Right.
So like that was a whole different side of the market, the business, if you will. But it was profitable for several years, and then the things changed. And then I started whitewater raft guiding.
Yes.
Well, the problem was I bought a property and invested in a property in California that I just like was going to grow on and whatnot. And then the laws changed. The county that I lived in banned outdoor growing. And I was like, after 3 years of being there, yeah. And then I had to.
Why?
It's counterintuitive.
I never understood that. And I have a hard time anyways with the whole, I don't even smoke weed, but I am like such a weed advocate, like I want it.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that every bit of them, every single drug should be illegal, and I think that will help with a lot of the cartel situation, illicit activities and bullshit, but that's just my personal opinion, and I'm always going to advocate for weed. And, I feel like as a human being, you should be able to put whatever the fuck you want in your body.
Right.
Whether it be weed, cocaine, crack, or a light bulb in your ass.
Right. Well, I mean, you're right. I agree with you 100% because that's what happened.
You put a light bulb in your ass?
They legalized weed pretty much in California. Not today. They legalized weed in California, and it became far less profitable. It became bought up by corporations and big companies and investors and hedge funds and all that capitalism.
Yeah.
And then, like people beforehand were able to make money. Like some guy and his wife could just like on their property that they own, grow some plants and make some money and have a better life. It made all the communities better. Like there's so many like little towns where they were growing a lot of weed for 20 years, 30 years that like when they legalized everything, these bustling little economies busted down because these people weren't able to really make money anymore.
That's crazy, isn't it?
So, yeah.
I mean, it's weird that the shit grows naturally in certain areas of the world. In certain places you can be walking down a fucking path and see, a plant just sitting there. So if shit like that grows, are they going to come after us if we grow tomatoes? And I mean, you laugh, but I mean, like if Monsanto they have anything to do with it, and companies like that, they will come after you.
Well, that's what happened with weed, right?
Okay.
Like Harry J. Anslinger, I believe was his name. He was friends with what was his name?
William Randolph Hearst.
William Randolph Hearst, and he owned the paper companies. And I think we've talked about this.
Well, I know we have, and we tried to Google.
Yeah,
but we couldn't. We kept fucking up the name.
Yeah. So
and then they put us on a no-flight list, and it was just crazy.
Well, I got a VPN on that bitch now. That's kind of why I put the VPN so that
wow.
I'm not trying to be tracked by the old,
Yeah, AI's gonna scrub this later.
But in any case, obviously, it made his industry far less profitable because hemp was becoming popular.
Right.
Hemp itself, which is
and didn't they just come up with the decorticator, and that was a way to process the hemp.
Exactly.
Yeah, and dumbass citizens, back at that time, I'm not talking about you guys, you're beautiful, smart people, but the people at the time were so fucking stupid, they didn't realize that when they were, making marijuana illegal, that they were doing away with hemp as well.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be so quick to call them stupid. I think they were uninformed. They didn't have the magic of the internet that we have.
Propagate.
And things of that nature.
You got to admit, though, a lot of them were fucking dumb hillbillies.
Well,
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like before cell phones, if you asked your friend a question and they told you the answer and they were stupid as fuck, you were just as dumb as them.
Right.
So
you're just as dumb as the guy next to you.
Yeah, unless you had a book like with a legit, researcher on that subject. It's just back then the dissemination of information was a lot harder.
Yeah.
But and we are so privileged with that. But You know the number one biggest advocate or biggest group in America that advocates against legalizing all drugs?
Hmm.
No,
No, tell me.
prison unions.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
know, they would
I
be-
knew that.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
they would be
Yeah.
out of a job.
Oh,
And they and time and time again they donate millions to whatever whoever's in office and yada yada yada. But it's just a dirty system that they monetize people's lives now and their time and just their soul, and it's just so disgusting.
It's a
And-
form of slavery.
Yeah,
Let's be real.
yeah,
The private prison industry's fucked up.
fucked. So
Yeah, I'm not digging it.
Yep.
I think there are a lot of people that are in there today that have been locked up for just stupid reasons. Like I mean, they found a couple joints or a little baggie of weed, whatever. Like for real, is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole thing is completely fucked. But it's weird to me that you were like, I don't understand. Like, so it's legal in California. It's legal now in how many states?
A lot.
29, 20.
But not federally.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if it was legally federal, would you have been able to then grow and then supply?
No. Like, think about what they've done with tobacco, right? Like, there's only certain government-registered farms that are even allowed. You can't grow tobacco in your backyard.
Right.
You're not allowed.
Yeah, but what is it, Philip Morris? Or is it what? Yeah, Philip Morris. They had to start somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. They started like at the beginning of all this like corporatization and
Right.
regulation and kind of grew with it. And then they became like the cornerstones of that market. But the same thing's happening in like the weed market. There's like big companies that are trying to be those Philip Morrises 20 years from now.
Right. So how does one get into like the supply? Because there's like real shops in places. We have them here,
Yeah.
for medicinal shit and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, how do you become a supplier for those businesses? Because that, I would imagine that could be quite lucrative.
Well, you can get licensing and stuff like that. It's just unfortunately for me in my situation, the property that I bought was all off grid and on solar, so I couldn't adapt my way of growing things and doing things. Like
you needed an indoor.
I could have set up an indoor thing or something of that nature. But in any case, like a good friend of mine owns a place. Shout out Lakeside Remedy, Oakland, California.
What's up? Shout out.
Dave Safford, good man. He's the guy who brought me out there in the first place. And
Oh,
he
cool.
started his own delivery service dispensary. And then there are people in the Bay, plenty of them that have gotten their licensing. And
Yeah.
big warehouses, and they grow stuff. And then they go to different.
So it has to be
Delivery.
indoors.
It doesn't have to be. There are registers. Just the county that I live in
Yeah.
specifically banned outdoor growing.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, there's plenty of counties you can still grow.
Okay.
outdoor.
So it's just
in
county by
California.
county.
With
basis.
and I would have been more than willing to get like the permits and the
So-
whatnot and set up a thing.
what was the reasoning behind that decision?
They just had a lot of their populace in that county. It's like a very old conservative place, and they were able to convince the voting population because what happened in all essence, the police force got a shit ton of money to use, and they get more money when they have to go and bust things and do
Yeah.
things like that. So it was political.
Oh, I know where this podcast is going.
We don't
Oh,
have to. We don't have to go there.
No, it's fine.
I love it.
I think it would be great. I would let you guys just ramble on about politics and things of that nature. I'll go take a nap. Because like we discussed,
You're pretty well informed, though.
I've got like my thoughts and feelings about life in general, and the things that I see, feel, think, like real world shit. That's
Yeah.
what I have. I don't pay attention to the news. Honestly, there's so much news now. Like there's so much shit out there. Like who do you go to? Like who's telling the truth? That's my problem. I don't trust hardly anybody.
Yeah. And even like the people that I enjoy watching, it's like they all have biases. They
Right.
all have like an agenda of making money and
Right.
promoting, they know their audience, right? Even people who start out with the best intentions in anything
Yeah.
can be swayed.
Swayed.
And they're slick-tongued.
Well, that's like Vice, I believe. They used to be a really good like documentary publication, and they would do all kinds of really cool pieces, and you would learn a lot of stuff. But apparently now, or like right up, a few years back, they kind of started to kind of lean,
Yeah.
And I just don't. When I see anybody put anything up there that has like a slant on it, like like their personal feelings about, like if it's not just like, this happened today, I don't read it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now, like with the cargo ship that hit the bridge.
Yeah.
At first it was just cargo ship hits bridge, in fatal accident or whatever. When they start adding all these buzzwords in, it's like, and then now it's like, now all the little publications that I see popping up are people with their opinions about what happened or how it happened, with all these conspiracy theories and shit like that. Alana gave me a fun one. She goes, "I wonder who was on that bridge when it." I was like, "Oh, you think that was a hit?"
Yeah.
You know how hard that would be to like
time that
shit. But I imagine it could be done.
I don't know. You could track the GPS in a car, know when it's coming, have it set up early, know their route.
I will say it was a little odd if you saw the trajectory of that boat.
Yeah.
Like it literally took a hard right turn.
Yeah.
And just
that part would be hard. The boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just pegged that thing and it went down.
Well, I mean, it takes a lot to turn that boat, but like when it's and they had like a picture of the anchor down on the what was it, the left side of it, but it turned right. So I just don't get. I don't know.
That is weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know physics. I'm not a physics.
It looked like
person.
It got hacked. To be honest,
that's what I'm saying. Who was on that bridge?
After the video, I don't think I've seen this.
You haven't? See if you can find a video of. I'm sure you can. It's everywhere.
All right. Where was this?
This was in Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about it. The bridge. It was just a couple days ago or something.
Yeah, and like
I just haven't seen it yet.
literally the bridge. Make sure you go to Google first.
Well, that's the thing. I wasn't freaking loading a second ago. See, look, it's just spinning.
Oh, go to info, right next to the left of the Google, and then go to cookies and data.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Wait. Okay.
Manage cookies and data, maybe. Done. Reload.
Reload. Where the fuck is the reload?
Oh, hit the X first and then reload. Nope. You just closed it. God bless
Tell
him.
me he's got to do the cookies.
Why
thing
the
again.
fuck is it loading?
I don't know.
All right, well.
No, cookies and data.
Oh, yeah, cookies and data.
Whatever you got to do.
Manage on this device. Cookies and data.
God bless.
Yeah.
I had to make things very difficult.
I don't know. Why don't we turn this thing off?
You're gonna open it. Oh,
I love it.
Turned it off.
So
Anyways.
the bridge collapsed in Baltimore.
Hold on, here we go. No, it works.
Oh snap!
There it goes. I think.
I want to do like a.
I feel like everybody kind of got out okay though. From what I understand, I don't know if there was any.
There was like 8 people that died. Or something.
I don't know. Somebody told me that. But again, like you said, you're just as smart as the dumbass that's standing next to you. So whoever was telling me that there was no.
That's a big boat.
All right, are you broadcasting this?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. I mean, this is really slow.
Yeah.
Power loss. It says power loss
number 1, and then look right here. So there's smoke.
And they're speeding it up now.
Yeah, but look, it looks like it's moving fast, does it not?
Well, they sped up the video.
Okay. But now look.
Yeah, look how fast that's
thick smoke. Yeah.
Holy, it hits that.
Yeah, see how it's turning though?
Now it's turning all just so gradually.
And then the power just went out again.
Power loss again.
And it like smacks.
Anchor right here drops, but it's still turning. Turning.
What the hell is up with these fucking emojis? Who's the asshole to put that up there?
Oh my!
Could you imagine it was that easy to take that thing down?
Oh my! Oh my God!
So something like that happened in Tampa, but now they put like a around it. They put a barrier of rocks to where if you crash into it, you hit rocks. So
that is wild.
Yeah. Wasn't it nutty? That was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that all the people are okay, and if anybody lost any, loved ones, our hearts go out to you. But
That's wild.
yeah, that was wild. I mean, there's all, but that's what I'm saying. Like that, obviously, somebody filmed that, went to the news station with it. That's news. But then now with everybody, like with the guy putting all his little fucking
Bias.
theories on there, like you're adding your shit.
Yeah.
Just report the fucking news. We'll figure out what happened after the fact or whatever. Or wait until there's an investigation, and once that's done,
Find out who died.
release the investigation.
It's just weird that the FBI came out less
Mama's
than
home.
4 hours later and they said it wasn't deemed hateful, terrorist, intentional, or nothing like that. You just can't. How do you know so quick? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Unless they confess to doing it. I don't know. But no one's said anything.
Well, what I said
Or
earlier,
the people that were on the ship were just like, we had a malfunction. It was like,
Yeah. Well, when you try to bring a gang of raptors back from Jurassic Park, sometimes people get hurt and power goes out and things go haywire. Okay. I mean, it literally looked like a fucking scene from Jurassic Park.
and I can't believe that bridge went down like that.
It
That's
was
wild.
it was like they need to build a better bridge. I mean,
I bet you the Matthews Bridge would have been fine because Grandpa built it.
yeah,
That's right.
probably. It's all metal. Yeah,
It would have fallen.
yeah,
For sure.
it's all rusty.
Luckily, boats can't go under that one like that.
No, you know what? I have a fear of bridges.
Oh, do you?
Oh, I don't like them.
Do you roll your windows down when you go across them?
Why? Oh, so
Just
if
gotta
I go,
fucking get out.
no,
of that
dude.
thing.
Like when I mean, I might crack them, but like, that's the last thing I'm thinking about. I don't.
Yeah.
I was like getting out of my car. I'm more worried about dying on the way down, or the impact. I'm dead.
Or like breaking down on the bridge.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh, one time in
Well,
high
that
school,
Dames Point Bridge. Oof.
I was driving. I'd been in like a minor fender bender earlier in the day, right? And like I was at a stoplight and turning right, and somebody like started going and then stopped immediately, and I just bumped them a little bit. Didn't really do any damage to their car, but my hood wouldn't shut. Was like the only damage done to my car.
Oh, dear
The
Jesus.
hood didn't shut, and I'm going over on JTB over the bridge at like 60, and my hood just flies up and
Oh, that's
smashes
fun.
my windshield, and I like duck down, and I'm like looking through the little
Slit.
slit in the bottom, and like my buddy had just passed us, and I was a teenager. My buddy who I went to California with,
Yeah.
ironically had some weed on him.
Oh, good.
We didn't want to be there, so
No.
we just left the car on the side of the road. My
Oh,
buddy
that's
came
fine.
back and picked us up, and then I get home, and my dad's like, "There's a voicemail from the police. Why is your car on the side of the road?" And I'm like, "Well, what had
See, what had
happened?"
happened was, damn,
Yeah,
yeah, that's unfortunate to say the least. But that's a fear of mine too. My hood flying up like that. I don't know. I worry about. I've watched what is that? Final Destination.
yeah. You watched.
I've seen that shit, dude. I
Yeah.
know. I'm always looking for shit
I
to
have
happen.
an irrational fear of being behind a log truck
Oh.
because of that movie.
Yeah. That or like somebody with a surfboard rack
Yeah.
on top of their car. Oh, Jesus. Like I see deer on my way into work in the morning. Like at 4 in the morning, they are out grazing beside the highway. And I'll be on my motorcycle and it startles me to the point where I might get a little speed wobble like, oh shit. But because I mean, if they jump out in front of me on that bike, I'm
You're in
fucked.
trouble. You're fucked. You're dead, probably.
Probably dead. Yeah, me and that deer are going to wherever people think you go when you die.
Oh man,
I'll just leave that one open.
dude! One time I was driving real fast in California around a windy hill, and I coming around, and I hit something. And I didn't know what I hit. It felt like I hit like a speed bump, kind of. And I turn around, and there's this deer laying on the side of the road. And I pull over, and like it had hit this, like it was running across and hit the side of my car as I was driving
Okay.
by. And like it was dented on the side. There was like a piece of bone in it.
Oh, fun.
And fur. And I'm walking over to this, what I thought was a dead deer, and just gets up and looks at me and goes, shakes it off, and just trots into the forest.
He
And
died.
oh, yeah, for sure.
All his insides
Internal,
were, yeah, they're
everything.
Everything's mush now.
Oh, yeah. But at the time, I was like, oh, he's alive.
Yeah,
then
that's
I
wishful
was-
thinking.
And then I got in the car and was like, oh, shit,
I could have had some venison.
that deer's definitely going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
He can't just go to the hospital.
No. a mountain. He's food for mountain lions or
Yeah, he'll
something.
be fine.
You know, you guys have all kinds of wildlife out there in California.
Yeah, there's.
And where you were at, you were like kind of in the sticks.
So I had bears eat my trash all the time.
That's fun.
I never saw a mountain lion.
Those were black bears, yeah.
Yeah, black bears. Never saw a mountain lion on my property. I did see one once cross the road and like go into someone's garage.
A mountain lion?
Yeah, when I was driving home one night.
Wow.
And
Holy shit!
in Forest Hill, yeah, I was like, oh shit.
That would scare the shit out of me.
Glad it's not my garage.
Yeah.
God.
And but I've seen all like we have bobcats, we have rattlesnakes, we have
Kangaroos.
No.
Oh, wrong
No,
place.
wrong place. There's all sorts of like we have like bald eagles, golden eagles,
Yeah.
red-tailed hawks. Like there's a lot of cool stuff.
Those fucking birds are insane.
Oh yeah.
Like they're so light, but they can pick up a full like animal.
Oh yeah, those videos of them like
When you have,
know,
like, a-
raptor picking up a goat or something.
Yeah,
flying
when you have
around
like a
with it.
10-foot wingspan, I'm sure you can lift, a 70-pound goat
Mm-hmm.
easily. But their bones are hollow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why they're so light. You know those guys, I think it's in Nepal, where they like train,
the falconry. It's
Yeah.
called falconry.
Yeah.
They have the gloves.
Yep.
They're like,
and they teach them how they hunt
Flies
that
off.
way.
They'll send the falcon right there to that rabbit.
Yeah.
send it out to scout ahead.
Yeah.
So
Or
that's
that's a lot of them, they hunt that way.
Yeah.
And you know they make the kids like if you're going to be a falconer or whatever, they make you go and like on your own, you have to go and like hike up this mountain and find a nest and take like an egg or a baby falcon and without dying,
And that's your falcon.
and then that becomes your falcon.
It's your rite of passage.
Right. Well, apparently a lot of those kids don't make it back.
Okay. Nice.
You know, unfortunately.
Hey, you either make it or you don't.
But if that's how you become a man, I like that better than what I can't remember what tribe it is, but I don't know if I want to really talk about that on this podcast. But there's a tribe somewhere.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they call them I think they're called the semen eaters,
Wow.
Okay.
and they believe that the more you ingest, the more that's how you become a man.
Oh,
So they'll take basically it's like rape. You know, they just rape these kids.
jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I don't
Yeah.
want to go there. Wherever that
Don't
is, I
don't
wanna
go there.
Yeah.
Don't go there. Don't go there. It's not good. But you know you're not part of the tribe, so I don't think you have to
Okay.
eat any cum.
Good.
Yeah, because that's not on my to-do list. You know,
Yeah.
it's not on my bucket list. I have one, but that's not it.
Yeah.
No. You've traveled quite a bit.
Been to some places.
You've been to some places.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your funnest place?
The coolest, most fun. Thailand. for
Thailand.
sure. I had loads of fun in Thailand.
Yeah,
I probably would have, if I didn't have like a dog at the time and like
you'd be traveling more.
was making good money with the weed business, I would have stayed in Thailand
Yeah,
indefinitely. Yeah.
indefinitely.
It was cool.
It was that good.
There was an island called PP Island, Ko PP,
Okay.
and it was just like a very small island. There's no cars. They just bring people in by boat, and it's new people every day. But everybody's just like it's the same but different as the
Is it
saying out
mostly
there.
tourists?
It's mostly tourists coming in.
Okay.
But then you have like your local population, and I quickly made friends with like people who had been living on the island for a while.
Right.
So I like learned the lay of the land. Ironically, the bar that I went to that was my favorite, which was like this like rooftop bar, and you like walk up this spiral bamboo staircase.
Oh, that's cool.
And it overlooks like this beautiful view, and the sun sets between these two like island peaks, and oh my god, unbelievable.
Sounds majestic.
It was majestic. But I made friends. Like the first, one of the first people I met on this island was this like blonde, blue-eyed like girl from California that was serving me drinks. That was
Scandinavian.
living there. And it turns out when she wasn't living in Thailand, she was a real estate agent, and she's the one who sold me the property
Oh, hey, look at
a
that.
year and a half later
Looky
in
there.
California. Yeah.
So y'all must have had a very good time.
No, it wasn't even like that, actually.
Oh,
yeah,
too
no.
bad.
Yeah, no, too bad. Yeah. Shout out Heather. She's
Shout
beautiful.
out Heather.
Great real estate agent, good bartender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like a real estate agent in Cali.
In Sacramento.
How about that?
Yeah,
Small
at the
fucking
time.
world, right?
Right?
That's crazy.
It was wild. Yeah.
Now I remember you telling me on the other podcast that we had you on about when you first get off the plane and you get into a cab, and the guy was like, "You want fuck? You want bang
Oh yeah,
bang?"
yeah. Yeah, they have like a laminated pamphlet when you get. It's called
It's
a
gotta
tuk,
be
a
laminated.
tuk-tuk, right? It's like a little motorbike with like a little cab thing on the back, and they drive you around. But yeah, he's got like a laminated pamphlet, and he's like pointing them out. He's like, pick one. Pick one. Bang, bang. You want bang, bang? And he does like the motion. I'm like, all right.
It must be for
I'm like,
only
okay.
for guys, because Jen told me she went there and she didn't have that same experience.
I would imagine that it's different. Yeah.
They know guys are fucking stupid and we're like
Yeah.
dick blind,
Yeah.
you know, especially when you're in a different country. It's like the first thing you think about.
Yeah.
Like, I got to get laid.
I did not partake in that. I
No.
actually like,
I'd be afraid.
Stuck with tourists.
Yeah, I'd be scared,
Yeah.
you know, that you might.
I did get one massage. That was fun.
Oh, nice.
A little.
Was it a soapy one?
It was a happy ending massage. It was very nice.
Ayo.
And then she let me play with her titty a little bit, so I think she liked me.
God bless her.
It's a nice, sweet,
What a-
older Thai lady.
Yeah, you know, them older ladies know what the fuck is up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, with age comes wisdom, right?
Yeah. Mom, if you're watching this.
Aunt Norma, we love you. And yeah, we're going to probably make your cheeks blush a little bit a few times during this podcast.
No,
so.
I'm gonna.
You're going to censor
I'm
yourself?
gonna tell her a story about her
Oh, are you?
that is gonna make her blush for
Well,
sure.
I mean, like, don't.
So one time I'm
okay, yeah.
I'm
Let's
like
hear it.
16, 17. I'm going to my first
Probably
like overnight party.
yelling at the TV right now.
Oh yeah, I
Don't
bet
you
she-
fucking say
And there was this guy Anthony that was playing hockey in Jacksonville, living at our house at the time, and he was like, "Oh, you're going? You might need these." And he throws me like a little 3 thing of condoms,
Yeah.
right? Or 4, whatever, like the. Whatever, throw them down. I was like, I'm not gonna need all of those. And my mom goes, "That depends on if you take after me or your dad. If you take after me, you'll need the whole thing." And I was like,
Whoa,
"Oh my
hey-o.
God, Mom, you ruined me for
That's
life."
hilarious. Now, you know what's funny is like when I was a kid, you know, our goal in life was to, and I apologize, folks, if you can hear the puppers in the background. They're just going ape shit. But when we were kids, my sisters and I, it was like our goal to make our mom like, you know, blush. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
and you know, like I found 2 Live Crew.
yeah,
You know, when I was little. I say little. I was like a teenager, and I loved that shit. And me and we turned on. What was it? I think when she came home, we had Face Down, like that song Face Down, Ass Up, playing, and we were just dancing in the living room. And she goes, "What the fuck are y'all listening to?" Because it was vulgar, you know. And then directly after that, it was like, you know, It Don't Matter, Just Don't Bite It. You know, came on. I don't know if you've heard that song.
No.
You've never heard that
I
song?
don't think so. Maybe I haven't. I just don't know the name of the song.
You need to get on that. It's a good. That's a classic.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you want me to do with it? There's like talking in the beginning. It's like, what you want me to do with it? And he's like, girl, it don't matter. Just don't bite it.
I don't think I've heard it. All right.
2 Live Crew was the shit.
All right.
But yeah, but that was like our thing to do, was make our mom, you know, blush.
Yeah.
You know, but it's when you get a little older, the roles reverse. Now they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, all right, bitch. Now we can embarrass you.
Uh-huh.
You know, so, you know, my mom had like pictures, you know, they busted in on me and took pictures of me like in the shower when I was young, you know, thought it was hilarious. They're like, we're going to send this off to Playgirl magazine. I don't think they actually took any pictures, but
Yeah. You thought they did.
yeah, you know, I was in there and I had the little medicine cup over my wiener, you know. I don't know if any of you guys ever did that. Listen, I was little, all right? Not much has changed.
That was great.
I can't. It's more a shot glass now than a medicine cup.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Double shot glass at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
I fill up about half of it.
I don't know what was wrong with me. You know, like I didn't have any male role models growing up. It was just, it was a house full of women.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to like learn everything on my own, you know, which was
You had Roy.
yeah, but he wasn't that kind of friend, you know, like
Yeah.
he wasn't like there for me that way. You know, he didn't
Yeah.
like teach me those things, you know. I really, honestly, it was just one of those things. You just kind of, I guess it's just instinct. Like a dog knows to, you know, to mate with another dog.
A dog
it's-
knows how to hunt, baby.
It's definitely instinct.
Yeah,
Like,
for
right?
sure.
Like I had dreams about having sex before I ever had sex, and it was exactly the same. In my
Did you have
dream,
wet
pretty
dreams?
much. Of course.
Yeah.
At some point.
I haven't had one of those in forever.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I think once you get past a certain number of encounters, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
I believe your body just goes, hey, you don't need that anymore, fella.
Yeah.
Which is sad because those were fun.
They were fun.
Now you'd have to get that VR headset or whatever. I don't know. That's coming.
For sure.
That's coming. And it's funny because, like, guys, whatever technology comes out, we'll figure out a way to fuck it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna fuck the shit out of AI here in a couple.
Oh,
years.
man. It's going to be like Westworld.
Or it's gonna fuck the shit out of us. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Both.
when they start making it to where it's like cognizant and like can respond to you and shit. Sorry, ladies, it's probably over. Like, she doesn't talk back. She does what I tell her to do. It's great,
They probably feel the
That's
same
very
way.
sexist, and I apologize.
No.
I like a woman with a brain.
They might feel the same way, though.
Women?
They'd be like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
it's over.
Dumb
Oh, for
ass
sure.
men.
These
They can
guys
make
anymore.
the the part
Yeah.
as big or small as and thick or
Yeah.
whatever as they want.
Mhm.
Imagine they would have attachments.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas we would just have that. I don't know. And I don't want to take this down that road, but like I've played with the fleshlight, and it's just like it's supposed to be, clean it. I'm like, this is a single use, baby, and just throw it away. I'm not cleaning that out. Sorry. It's gross. Hi, Aunt Norma.
If you're still watching,
If you're still watching.
please stop.
No, you want me to keep going?
Oh, no, please.
Oh, okay.
No, tell me more about this flashlight.
No. I'm done with that. That's I had to get a second one, but I liked it so. It was so nice. I had to get it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Giggity.
yeah, but it's coming, man. Though, but it is weird. Like
Well, we talked about this
We're such base
last
people.
time.
Did we?
And, well, we talked about Demolition Man.
Yeah, we
and
did.
Like how it's gonna, like it's just the same. It's gonna be that. Where,
Yeah.
Like you put on a headset.
and you don't touch each other. That's the worst. I don't know. I think
Ready Player One.
but well, they had like full haptic suits and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There was something I was listening to today. They were talking about like the glove, so you could like pick things up and touch it, and then you can actually feel the things in the VR world.
Yeah.
The dude was like, "Yeah," and you'll be fucking it very, very soon. What is that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Like, I get it because I'm a dude, but like, all right, she keeps hitting the alarm. I think we're locked.
Door's locked.
I don't know, man. It's just creepy. Dudes are creepy, and we'll, for the most part,
Yeah.
we'll fuck anything.
It's funny how like it's just so many inventions were like the tampon. Like some dude was like in the war and was like, you know what this would be great for? Period blood.
You think?
Right there.
You
That's
think
exactly how it happened.
Really?
Some dude was in wartime. Like they used him in wartime and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And he he was like, this would be great for that.
That was for packing wounds and shit, though, wasn't
yeah,
it?
Bullet
yeah.
holes.
And they decided that.
Well, technically,
just saying.
Hey, that
I bet it wasn't a woman who invented the pill. You know what I mean? It was probably some guy that was like,
yeah. Yeah, we invented that for them, and then we invented the blue pill for us.
Yeah.
Because God forbid we can't get boners. And that was really made for like those old white politicians that that are, that have been in office for
yeah.
they're 90 years old and they're still screwing around.
Yeah, Bill Clinton was like the first customer with him and Monica probably.
I did not exhale.
it's like the government during Prohibition. They were drinking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Their army was drinking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like if you think about it, like I always think about it this way. It's like Congress and stuff. They always vote against like any form of real universal health care. You know why? Because they have universal health care for Congress,
right.
And
well, they're fucking rich. They don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter anyway.
but they have it though. Like,
Yeah.
They have government like. just
like how
whatever
much
they
money
want.
do you fucking need? Like really? Like a human being, how much money do you actually need?
I mean, theoretically, you don't need money, but to buy things and be happy,
Which is
I mean,
sad.
I feel like to like have a comfortable life, you at least like for a family, it'd be nice to make $100,000 or more a year.
So there was a study I saw, and of course it was on the news, whatever, but it was all statistical shit, and it was just saying to be a middle class, to buy a middle class like house, which is fucking stupid that they even with the classes and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, it's a real thing, unfortunately. But to be considered middle class, you have to be bringing in at least $150,000, at least. And even then, you might not be able to buy like an average home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like even this house. You know, I definitely don't make that much.
Yeah.
And I'm scraping by.
Hey, but you got this house.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that commercial. It's like, I have this lawnmower and the family in the house. It's like, and you know how I do it? I'm in debt up to my eyeballs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone through a bankruptcy once already.
Yeah.
You know, I can't. I don't know if you can do that multiple times in your life. Can you?
I probably don't.
I don't want to. I don't want to though. It was not fun.
Yeah.
It was a fucking process.
Yeah, it's not fun in Monopoly, so I can only imagine in real life.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a slight bit different.
Mhm.
In Monopoly, you just lose all your shit.
It hits a little harder.
Yeah. Well, in real life, it's just a fucking process. You got to get paperwork and this and fucking that and go to fucking depositions. And it's like, I didn't think it was going to be that much of a pain in the ass. I was like,
Yeah.
can I just file with the lawyer and then let him do everything? And then like in a week or so, I'll be like free and clear. No, it took me, I think it was like 2 months
Yeah.
to go through the whole process. It was a pain in the dick.
Yeah.
I'll never do it again.
Yeah.
I'll just keep the debt.
There you go.
You know, and you just pay like, you know, a little bit, and then they can't say you didn't fucking pay.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
What my dad does with all medical bills.
there you go.
A little bit.
That's it.
Shout out to Who Are You podcast.
What's up?
What up, y'all?
They said nothing better than hearing your grandparents tell you they bought their house for 10 raspberries back in the 50s.
Well, back then those raspberries used to grow wild. Yeah.
My dad was
I don't know
saying
why I thought
actually
of
the
that.
other day, he was telling a story and he was like, yeah, and I bought a car for $40. And I was like, what?
What? Say what?
Or no, it was Stallone. I was listening to Sylvester
Yeah, yeah.
Stallone's documentary on Netflix. And he's actually my dad's age, ironically.
Yeah.
But yeah, he bought a car for $40 that he drove to California, and then it broke down when he got there.
I
Yeah.
wonder if he went back and bought it again. Just, you know, those guys that have like fuck you money,
Yeah.
they'll like, I loved my first car. I'm gonna go buy it. They
Oh,
find
yeah.
the actual car,
Yeah.
VIN number, everything, and have it restored.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't do that. My first car was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It was an '87 Chevy Cavalier. That car can go fuck itself.
I had a 92 Maxima. That was my first car. Was a
That's not bad.
92 Maxima.
That's not bad.
It was cool.
I had
Maximas are
a
good.
2001 Toyota Camry.
Sick.
So yeah, and that's like what Alana wants, a old Toyota. But yeah, I would love fuck you money.
Oh, man. Don't let me win the lottery. Who Are You said that was back when Jim was in his early years.
Yeah.
Got jokes.
Connor, hey, fuck you, Connor.
Get roasted. Get roasted.
So let's talk about whitewater rafting.
Yeah. I started doing that about 5.5 years ago, maybe. Well, really boating like 6 years ago, and then like guiding like 5 years ago.
Is it wrong to call it whitewater rafting?
No, it's whitewater
Okay.
rafting. Like when you
Keep
take
correcting me.
people. But like there's a difference between whitewater rafting, which is like a commercial thing where you're taking people whitewater rafting, and then
Right.
just boating, like
Right,
getting
right.
out on different rivers, whether it's a kayak or a raft or whatever type of boat,
Right.
and running rapids. That's boating.
Right. Have you ever had any near, you know, like people falling out and having to jump in and get them and shit? Like,
You never want to jump in
Yeah.
after somebody.
yeah, we just
That's-
throw them a rope.
You throw them a rope. We have ropes. Ideally, if the best form of safety is boat safety. So if you have like, ideally when we run commercial trips, we'll have like somebody that we're confident is probably going to make it successfully go the first couple, and then they're down at the bottom for safety, like waiting in case somebody falls out, and then they can paddle out with their crew and pick up anybody that swims
okay.
out of other boats. But then we do also have like certain rapids where we'll just have people downstream standing with a bag in case somebody.
A bag?
Like a throw bag, so it's a
Oh,
bag
okay.
with a bunch,
of rope in it. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That freaked me out the first time. Where did we go rafting? I think it was like the French Broad. I think that was. I don't know.
Where? What state?
It's a good question.
Do you not know the
No,
state?
I don't know.
I mean, around here you have like Georgia, South Carolina, or North
I want to say it
Carolina,
was somewhere in Colorado.
Tennessee. Okay, see, I've never rafted out there.
Yeah, and it was apparently it was like wasn't the rainy season, so they were like it's it was they told us that I want to say the water. What are the stages of water? Like I know it goes from 1 to like what?
It's 1 to 5.
1 to 5. 5 is like fucked up. You
Yeah.
got to be a pro,
Well, like,
right?
so the way that you classify water is based on how hard the rapid is to guide through, how big of features it has, like as far as like big waves, rocks, things like that, and then danger of the swim afterward if you were to fail.
Right.
People fall out. So like there's one rapid that we do every day on the Middle Fork that's very technical. It's a very difficult rapid to guide, but it's not very bad consequences if you swim at the bottom.
Okay.
So it's a class 4. But
Okay.
it could be a class 5 if it had like dangerous things at the bottom where people could die.
Rocks and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then like some places classify it 1 to 10. Like if you go on the Colorado River in the Grand Canyon, they rank theirs to 10.
Okay.
But the majority of rivers in the United States go 1 to 5.
Yeah, it's the drops for me. I don't like those.
Yeah, like little waterfall drops.
Yeah. You like that shit.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm a big pussy.
The biggest one I think I ever did was like 35 feet. It was
What?
Yeah, it was super fun.
Did everybody come out of the boat?
No, it was like me and one other person in like a small boat.
Oh, okay. So you hang on.
And
hang
you
on.
literally like this particular rapid is like a narrow entrance and then the drop. So you don't really have any way to correct or do anything. So you just
Right.
get lined up and then you lean back, lay down on the back of the boat, look up at the sky and hold on with both hands and brace your feet. And it's fun.
And hold on for dear life. Jesus.
But I also probably won't do that. It's a very violent, like when you hit on that one.
I bet.
And
It's not good for your joints.
hurt my knee the last day that
Yeah.
I did it. Yeah.
Yeah. And your hip, right?
Not well. I mean, yeah. That was life.
Oh, was that just life?
Yeah.
That's from probably years of hockey.
Yeah, hockey, and I was like, I'm basically a chocolate lab, bad hips, just born that way.
Well, you've been playing. I've told you this before, and I wish that I could get the fucking video, but I don't know what channel it was on, but Aunt Norma called us one night when you were very little. You were like so little. I want to say you were like maybe
Between 8 and 11, probably.
I think you were younger than that, my friend.
I didn't start playing hockey until 7.
No, but you were on the ice.
Oh, when I was 3.
Yeah, I think it was when you
at
were
the
3.
Coliseum downtown.
Yes.
And I had the gloves that were the size of my arm.
Yeah.
And, like,
all you did was kind of skate up to the camera and then they cut out. But it was fucking adorable.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish that I had that footage.
I think we got some pictures somewhere, but I don't. I don't have any
probably.
footage.
But you've been on the ice since you was a little guy.
I've been skating since I was like 2 or 3, and then I've been playing ice hockey since I was 7.
Yeah. Wow.
And it was a big part of my life.
Imagine that shit takes a toll on your body too.
Yeah, a lot of pains. I broke my back on my 16th birthday at hockey practice.
Fun.
And then I had like a torn labrum in my hip when in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Which at the time I was playing hockey in college and didn't want to get surgery at the time. And then like by the time I was out of college, I was off my parents' insurance. So I was like, fuck. And so I didn't get surgery then. And then when I was 30, I got that fixed. And they were like, well, you got arthritis because you waited so long. They didn't tell me that before they did the surgery. They were like, yeah, it'll be great. You get the surgery, you'll be good.
Yeah, you're a young man.
And I get the surgery. They're like, well, we found some arthritis in there. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And then so I had to get my hip replaced last year, like a full hip replacement at 38 years old.
Well, I mean, you get that out of the way. I'll probably, when I'm like 70, I'll go in for like a hip replacement or something.
Yeah.
And, because I'm old, I'll probably die on the fucking table.
Yeah. I feel good. I feel like I've recovered pretty well for the most part.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell.
I mean, I think I walk with less of a limp now than I did beforehand.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's good, man. I'm glad to see you up and around. I'm glad to see you at all.
That's,
yeah, all.
I missed you too.
Yeah, we're pretty tight. Just saying.
Yeah.
And you being gone, I most of the time you were out there, I was married.
Mm-hmm.
So I obviously I wasn't going anywhere. It's not like I had the option to go. I wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
And I was I was beaten at that time. Not like physically, but
Beaten
just
down.
mentally.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just like
Well, yeah, and you
ruled the roost.
You weren't doing like a job that you loved. You weren't like
No.
yeah.
No. Yeah, I came this close. We talked about it, like to come in after I left that job to come in. I was like, I need to come out there and just live with you and make that money.
Would have been fun.
Yeah,
Would
yeah,
have been fun.
yeah. We would have had a hell of a time. My kids, I sat them down and talked to them. I was like, listen, I'm in a bad way right now. I am a little my cash flow is negative. So, like, this is an opportunity, and because they were freaking out. They thought I was gonna like leave and never come back, kind of thing. And I was just like, I'll just be gone for like maybe a year, 2 years, maybe 3 at the most. But they were cool. They were like, go, man, if that's what you got to do to get your shit right,
Yeah.
But by the time I decided, you had already filled the position. So I was just like, fuck. All right, I'll make this shit work.
Yeah. Yeah, my
But-
buddy Robbie came out. I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. At least you got, you had somebody cool come out and hang out
Yeah. No, it was fun for a while.
for a while.
It's hard work, man. Honestly, I didn't enjoy growing weed at
No.
all. It was very laborious. You're farming.
Yeah.
Farming.
Yeah, you're a
There's
farmer.
dug a lot of ditches and holes, a lot of shovel work,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of early mornings, a lot of late nights. Yeah. And then you gotta there's the whole time of year where people come and trim the weed.
Yeah.
So you gotta bring in like a crew of people, and now you're managing a bunch of personalities in the same place.
Yeah.
There's arguments, there's drama.
People
over
walking away
'cause
with
it's like a
stuffed
month
pockets.
and a half. Yeah, some people taking things, some people, it was a lot. It was stressful. And yeah.
Would you do it again if it was like lawful?
Knowing what I know now, maybe. Yeah. If it was lawful, it would have been a little different, especially with like the trim scene and stuff like that.
Yeah. You'd actually be able to like.
But I probably wouldn't be able to. You know what I mean? Like if I came into it after it was already and been
Right.
tried to start, you can't just start doing that.
Right.
Now. Like my buddy who started the dispensary, he went to California, took out a college loan, used it to start a grow, paid back his college loan, and now he owns like a multi-million-dollar dispensary.
For him.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Again, shout out Lakeside Remedy.
Yeah, I don't think people wouldn't know how to act here, but I don't know. I think at one point you had talked to me about opening a dispensary when you found out that it was going to be legal here in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But then you were like, "Fucking, it's fraught with all kinds of complications and this and that."
Yeah, from what I understand, basically, is you have to have owned a nursery for like 6 years or something to be able to grow for a dispensary. And then you have to be affiliated with a nursery to have a dispensary. And like the lawyers and politicians that passed that law originally in Florida had already like went to nurseries and places and kind of monopolized it a little bit.
Right.
From the very beginning.
Handpicked it.
So,
Yeah, that's fucked. Again, another way to scrape the system. It's just fucked.
oh yeah.
Why make it just stop? Like I'm saying, like make everything fucking legal. I'm sorry, but you're gonna hear like a Tim Dillon type rant. Make everything fucking legal. Let the idiots weed themselves out. This is Darwinism right here at its purest form. The idiots that want to use it are going to then use it, and they are going to weed themselves out, or they are going to have a big ass fucking reality check. And you got to stop fucking monetizing these people. It's just so gross.
Yeah.
This is what needs to happen. A part of what needs to happen. Big part. Sorry.
No, you're
No,
good,
no, no.
man.
Rant
I was
over
all.
it.
Yeah,
I agree
love
with
it.
you.
I mean, yeah, we're all in agreement. I
The
think.
problem is that I think it was Plato that said this a long time ago in the Republic, and any civilization that gets to a certain size, big enough, right? It's gonna naturally be run by greedy, selfish people because in any society, those are the people who strive for power within a structured system.
Right.
So it's always like, in essence, just by the nature of human beings, we're always going to be ruled by greedy, selfish people.
Yeah, and I feel like if you put yourself in a position to be in that role, like it's obvious.
Yeah.
Like I think a good leader would be someone that doesn't really want that role.
Yeah.
And they're like elected into it by the people. Just say, no, I think this is what needs to happen. We trust you. Like someone that everybody knows and you trust. But I've always said this: the people that belong in office will never make it because they're not full of shit enough.
For sure.
And that's a direct quote from Henry Rollins. I do quote him a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you 100%. It sucks.
True.
All you can do is like try to be happy.
Yeah.
Make the people in your life happy.
Yeah.
I like to smile at random people.
Yeah.
Try to make their day a little better if I can.
I do that and I make babies cry.
I was stoked actually today. I was driving back from. I had.
Well, you're a handsome
I was on my
man,
way to
so
your. No, hold on. I was on
you
my
smiled
way.
at
I
me,
was
I
on my way to
smiled
your
back.
house,
Yeah.
and I forgot my cell phone, so I turned around, go back to my neighborhood. This little kid's just walking by, and like he just smiles and waves, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh God damn!"
Probably thought you were
Smiled
John
and
Cena.
Do, 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 do. I'll give you a good old one right there.
No, it's good, man. That is definitely your personality.
Yeah.
You've always been like that guy that's like always fun, the life of the party, happy dude,
Yeah, most of the time.
most of the time.
Yeah.
Is that like real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I've only
know where
been
I'm at.
like depressed actually
Yeah.
maybe a couple times in my life.
That's
Most
good.
of the time I'm pretty even keeled. Like I don't get too hot. I mean I get pretty high sometimes when I'm like partying.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get riled up.
right.
But like in general, I'm pretty mellow, pretty even keeled.
Yeah. Well, they always tell you that, those people that are like always happy and always, this and that, like, check on those motherfuckers, But I guess that the fall of the dice for you, things kind of worked out good. You've had a good life.
Yeah, I just haven't really done anything I didn't want to do.
Right.
So I'm happy
Yeah.
most of the time.
And people can't identify with that right
Yeah.
now. Like a lot of us, that didn't do the things that we wanted to do and didn't
Yeah.
have that opportunity. We're like, what? You're speaking, a different language. That's alien to us. We don't understand that.
Yeah. And I feel, very fortunate. I've had a lot of help. Shout out mom and dad
What's up?
in my life. And then, I worked really hard doing
Yeah.
the weed growing thing for a while. But it's like, it was technically seasonal. So I had several months to just partay
Yeah.
afterward. It was good times in my life. The rafting, though, is probably my favorite thing. Like,
Yeah,
my
I
favorite
know.
time period. It's just such a good community of people. Man.
Yeah.
Like, it's one
Seems
of the
like
best.
when we went, they were really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was so dope.
Yeah. And I'm fortunate. I feel like hockey's like that too. Like it has an amazing community. So like both of the activities that I've like partaken in the most in my life, just mostly great people
Yeah.
involved.
It's a good community.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm really stoked that you're like following that course that you want to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And you've always had that. You've always been able to do that, and it's good.
Well, now I'm at like a crossroads in my life where it's like I kind of want to go back to California and at least close out that chapter of my life and do another season of raft guiding. But like my parents really want me to stay.
Yeah.
And like I'm making good money reffing ice hockey games, and I just got a part-time job at the ice rink. And I have other job opportunities here that would be very lucrative. But then now at 38, it's like, do I sell out now? I'm done. I've done so good. I've made it this far.
Well, but the one thing I'll tell you is that you've done all of the other things, right? You've done all that fun things and all the party and all the this and that, but you've felt that lifestyle. You've lived it.
Yeah.
And even if you do go to a normal 9 to 5 now, in your brain that you can go and just do anything because you've done it.
Yeah.
That everything is possible. For someone like myself, I started the 9 to 5 shit like at 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Started working, and I've always had a job. I've never not had a job.
And I did too. I worked at the ice rink when
Yeah.
I was 14, and then like up through my 20s. And the only time I didn't really have a job was while I was in college. My parents kind of helped me out while I was in college so that I could concentrate on school and stuff. But I always worked. Like I worked at the rink. I've laid tile. I've done construction.
Yeah.
I've I've been into cooking kitchens. I've done some things, you know.
Yeah, you've done a lot.
I've done a lot.
That's what I'm saying, though. You've done so much stuff, and you've experienced so many things. You've experienced that life of freedom,
Yeah.
you know, and so to be tethered a little bit now,
Might actually be good for me.
it might be something that, it's different, you know. I had a friend that used to, he got high so much that he would get sober. You know, like instead of getting high, he'd be like, you know, once a month he'd get sober just to like,
Yeah.
oh, so that was like him getting high,
Yeah.
you know, because he lived in a constant state of high,
Yeah.
you know. But maybe this is your, you know, your time to just kind of like regroup, slow down, you know. I'm not, hey, listen, I'm not looking out, you know, I'm not trying to say anything, but maybe it's time to settle down, find your little ass, you know, and
Hey, girls.
Well, my dad obviously, like I said, wants me to stay real bad.
yeah,
But I think like he just thinks I want to go out there and party and whatever.
Right.
But I just want to raft. I just want to be on the back of that boat.
yeah,
Strangers in there, showing them the best time of their fucking life, making them smile, giving
Yeah.
them giving them an experience that they made. It's so rewarding.
I wonder if there's anything here that would be equivalent to that feeling. Probably not, huh?
I don't know. I'm sure there's things
Like
maybe
a skydiving.
Go
Let's
like
say something.
charter a fishing boat or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
But it's a little different as far as like, yeah, you're chartering the boat and showing them how to fish. But like, I'm like, when I have that paddle in the water, I'm one with the water. I'm moving that boat, guiding it. I have these people in my boat. I'm responsible for their safety.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's like, it's a big responsibility. It's stressful, but also I enjoy the boating and the rafting itself, going through the rapids. So like, I'm doing something I love.
What do you think about when you're going through the water like that?
Depends. You know,
Think about
like
adult
if I'm in the mellow parts, I'm just chilling, telling
Yeah.
stories, talking. If I'm in a big rapid, I'm quite nervous, usually, which I think is a good thing. Anybody
yeah.
that will tell you different is crazy, and don't get in their boat,
Yeah,
because like that's what keeps you safe, right? Is that little bit of anxiety where you're like,
Anxious tick.
shit,
yeah,
this could go real bad.
yeah.
Like, so.
Just I always wondered that, like what.
So actually,
I know what goes
remember-
through my head, you know, when I was doing it.
Yeah.
You know, the one time I did it.
A lot of times as I'm going in the rapid, like in my brain while I'm yelling out like forward 3, I've got some song in my head that I'm just like kind of singing to myself, maybe just to like calm my nerves in my head, you know? I
Yeah.
remember one in particular, there was this just like one part of a song, and I would just say and then I saw you in the water. And I'm like, that's literally like, and I'm picturing my customers, like if I mess up, like it's just floating next to me. Oh God.
Yeah, well, you know, and you guys teach them safety things if they fall out.
For sure.
Keep your feet up, right?
For sure.
Let the vest keep you up above the water.
We do a whole safety talk.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's super, and they're fun. That's one of my favorite parts of the day. Some people hate it, right? Some people don't like getting in front of the big group and doing a safe. I love it.
Maybe you should be like a speaker, like not a motivational speaker.
Yeah, just
but like
some sort of public
speech.
speaker. I'd be great at that.
Yeah, I think you would.
Yeah.
I think you would
Yeah.
for sure. Now we just got to find the right venue for you.
Yeah. The right like motif.
Yeah,
My shtick.
it's got to be
I need
something.
a shtick.
It's got to be something you believe in. You know, you can't be getting up there and talking for an hour about some shit that's just like, because then it's just gonna be boring.
Right.
Nobody's they're not gonna believe you.
Well, I'm probably not going to get too many people to listen to me talk about rafting. It's a pretty small community.
I don't know. I mean, for people here that don't do it often,
Yeah.
you know, and that we are the people. You know, people in Florida, we are the people that go see you. You know, that would vacation there to go rafting.
Sometimes I have taken people from Florida,
Yeah.
ironically, that have come out there. The majority of our clientele is actually just like people from the Bay, like rich, like tech people.
Oh, okay.
A lot of Indian people and Chinese people come rafting, and they fucking love it.
Yeah.
And like most of the Indian people don't know how to swim, and it's just like you're just
It's
like
unfortunate.
You're just like fuck. I remember one time I get there and I'm like, all right, so, and my buddy's like, this is your group, Blake, and I go to like throw this kid a life jacket, and his dad goes, "Oh no, he's blind." And I was like, "Oh,
Whoopsies.
And then I'm calling over his sister. I'm like, "Hey, come here," and he's like, "Oh, she can't hear you. She's deaf." I'm like,
Jesus.
oh, well, this is going to be an interesting day
Batting
today.
1,000. Yeah.
We had a great time. Like, because the girl that was deaf, she could obviously see. So, like, I just didn't put her in the front. So she's just following the person in front of her.
Right.
And then the kid that couldn't see, he just sat in the back with me.
Yeah.
I had him hold on to a handle. We, like, freestyle rapped.
Yeah.
He called himself DJ Black Cat, this little kid.
That's
he had
hilarious.
a YouTube channel, and he liked to freestyle rap.
That's
So
fucking hilarious.
we freestyle rap together.
Did you really?
All day.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious. No, it freaked me the fuck out whenever we got in, and I'm like, "Hey, where are the seat belts?" And they're like, "Yeah, no, you don't." I was like, "We can't even get like a rope to tie ourselves with." And they're like, "No, dude. See that? Like where the bottom and
Yeah.
the side meet?
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
could tuck your feet under that.
Yeah.
It's like that's your seat belt.
Uh-huh.
Like you don't want to be stuck in this bitch if it goes over,
No.
like stuck to it. Like tied to
100%.
it."
Yeah.
He's like, there's a lot of jagged rocks, and you'd be upside down, just scraping your face on them. I was like, okay, yeah. I actually almost fell out one time during that trip, and then I didn't. I made it through, but then at the end they let you do the whole surfing thing.
Love it. Yeah.
Is that-
with the boat where you get
Yeah,
your
yeah,
nose
you-
stuck in the wave and
Right.
Yeah,
Is
love
that-
it. That's
do
my
you-
favorite part.
Is it?
One of them.
I thought for some reason I thought that was one of those things that the guides were like, I fucking hate this.
No, it depends. Some guides just don't. They never do it and practice it, so they don't feel like. So in particular, where I work, you have different companies, and some companies don't allow their people to surf their customers, right?
Right.
Because there's more likelihood of them falling out, and plus, like the bigger companies, they're just pushing so many boats down the river that it's about like getting from point A to point B.
Get out of the
by
way.
a certain time. Yeah, they're just pushing through.
Right.
The company I work for, fortunately, is like a smaller company owned by like one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And we just like he encourages us to do all the things and have it doesn't matter really what time you get done.
Right. Well, that was like the there was two photographers when we did like on rocks on either side
Yep.
of the river or whatever, and like right there is where they were getting all their good shots.
Oh yeah. There's a company called Hot Shot Imaging that does that on the American River where I primarily work in California.
Yeah.
And people love the photos. The photos are great. It's
I
awesome.
I still have. I don't know if they're still up on my Facebook or not, but anyways, yeah, I was a big old futos.
I just know somewhere I'm on some people's manels, like the
Right.
family rafting photo, and I'm just in the back like, woo! And
Yeah.
they're all-
Looking like Chris Helms.
And I like to think that sometimes they're like, man, you remember that guy, Blake? He was crazy.
Yeah. He sung us all kinds of songs.
Yeah, I did probably. And then
I got you to sing that song on the last not this one, but one of the other podcasts that you were on with us.
Yeah.
We don't have to do that. If you want.
No, it's a good one though.
It is a good one.
So yeah, rafting is great. I miss it.
Yeah, I know.
Probably gonna go back.
You think so?
3 months.
I mean, 3 months is not bad.
No, and I talked to like the rank already, and then I told them like, hey, I'm probably gonna leave at the end of May, and I'll be back like October, November. And they're like, totally cool. We'll keep you on the payroll, so when
Dope.
you come back, you'll have a job. It's like sweet.
I mean, what? Yeah, I mean, see, I don't see any problem with it.
Yeah,
3 months is like it's not 14 years.
yeah, right. I'll be back. I'm literally like,
Yeah,
just think I went on vacation.
yeah.
Extended
And when
vacation.
would you be going?
End of May probably, and then I'd be back June, July, August. I'd probably come back like September, October.
Just thinking I go on vacation and thinking June.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go rafting.
If I can scrounge up enough money for a plane ticket, maybe.
They're expensive.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
maybe I'll take a bus.
You can get them cheap. What are they? What is Spirit Airlines or some bullshit?
Yeah, I'm not getting on that plane.
Okay.
Anything that's called Spirit,
Yeah, you gonna be a fucking spirit.
right? Pass. No, but yeah, that would be fun, man. I'd love to go.
I
out
would
there.
love to take you. That goes for you too.
See your
Patrick.
old-
Yeah.
See your
Anybody
old-
want one?
I am good at the moment. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm all set, buddy.
I would. That goes for you too, though.
Yeah, man.
You
Yeah,
a
I've been to
fan?
Nantahala in North Carolina. That was fun.
Yeah, like especially like when the kid gets old enough and like you
Yeah.
guys want to come,
Okay.
I'll take the whole fam. We'll have
Hell
a great
yeah.
time.
All right.
Yeah, I just want to go to the West Coast, and just see stuff.
Well, we don't even have to do that. Like I have my own boat. If I drive out there, I'm gonna bring it back with me this time.
Right,
And then I'll have we could just travel to any river on the East Coast.
right.
and I just have to find like either I know people there. They could be like, tell me about the river,
Right.
and then like I could probably guide it.
See, that would make me nervous because a lot of those guys, like your river where you guide.
Yeah, and you get better at each one.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty confident though. I do a lot of stuff for the first time, and
Yeah, I trust you, but I'm,
Yeah.
I don't. It's the fucking nature.
It's true, and anything can happen at any given
She's a
moment.
finicky beast.
Yeah, that's part of the excitement though.
Yeah, excitement. I'll have to wear a diaper.
You'll be fine.
Not trying to shoot excitement out of my arse. You know. No, that'd be good, man. But I want to. There's a lot of places I want to go to, and eventually, this. My goal is that what we're doing right here, will take me those places.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to see. My thing is ruins. You know,
Yeah.
like I want.
Ancient ruins.
Yeah, I definitely want to go see all the shit here that's in America because we have shit here.
Yeah.
You
Go to
know,
Ohio. They got those mounds, the snake mounds
Yes,
and stuff.
the snake
Serpent mound.
Serpent
Yeah, the
mounds.
serpent. Yeah.
I did. I definitely. I watched a whole documentary on those.
Yeah.
Graham
and-
Hancock.
Yeah, and I read a book. It's actually, I think it was Graham Hancock. It was, and Jen made fun of me for reading it, but it was called
Yeah.
America Before.
Yeah.
About the whole Clovis theory. You know?
Yes. Yeah. So I mean,
what are you checking there?
oh no, I got a text,
Oh,
but the watch doesn't like stay up. So
yeah.
He's Batman, so he's got to keep up with this.
No, she was just letting me know that her daughter is going over to spend the night with her little friend.
Okay.
So she's driving her over there now.
Okay.
So the dogs are going to act up again.
Got it.
But thanks for letting me know, Lana. Appreciate it. Appreciate the heads up. They've been quiet. But that's my whole thing. Like if I had my druthers, I just would be
when we make it big, I'll go with you. I want to
Yeah.
go too.
yeah. I want to take a fucking entourage.
Like I want to see the pyramids for
Oh, yeah.
sure. I'd like to see, like to go back to Southeast Asia and see what is it, in Cambodia, Angkor Wat would be sick. I want to go see like Chichen Itza
Beckley Tepe.
and like all the stuff in South America, Mayan and Incan temples and
Yeah.
stuff.
Still finding shit
Teotihuacan.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still
for sure.
finding shit with lidar.
Oh yeah. Well,
Every
that's
day.
the thing.
Part of the America Before thing, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
They
for
talk
sure.
about.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it's crazy that like in the rainforests and stuff like that, like they're like he was saying, they are using the lidar now because and they're finding that there are fucking structures just that they've just been overgrown,
Mm-hmm.
which could easily be our cities. You know,
For sure. I think that one of the oldest things I don't know how old it was, but when I was in the Grand Canyon for 30 days,
Yeah.
I
It's
was
a long time.
oh man, it's
You don't want to
there's
leave.
no
huh?
showers.
Yeah. Oh
It's-
yeah.
it's like you're just chilling. You're getting through the day, and at the time, I had actually my hip and back started acting flared up real bad, so it was like a very bittersweet trip for me. Like I was in an immense amount of pain for a lot of it, but it was also like this breathtaking
Yeah, how-
experience.
Yeah. How do you let your hip fuck that up?
Yeah.
You know, you just keep suck it up.
I mostly sucked it up. A little bit of tears, a little bit of frustration, a lot of pain.
Yeah.
But one of the hikes that I did, like there's like paintings, like drawings or something, but
Yeah.
like old,
Like
ancient,
petroglyphs?
ancient Native American, who knows how old.
Yeah.
It was neat. It was neat to see.
Yeah, we saw some petroglyphs. I can't remember where we were at. Again, we traveled through, from here to the Grand Canyon, and we stopped in a bunch of states along the way, and we went to all the national parks and did a lot of hiking through the parks and stuff like that. And there was one or two of them that we saw some stuff, some little petroglyphs and stuff. And it is neat to think that there were ancient people that did that.
Hell yeah.
They left a message. You really don't know why it's there. Maybe they were just into art.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
I saw a horse today. Let me draw that.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, obviously, some of the like the hieroglyphs and things of that nature do tell a story. Like all the pyramids, like you said, they definitely tell a story, and it's like history. So I mean, we're still trying to figure out what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, all we can do is guess.
Yeah, educated or not.
Uh-huh.
You all right? You feeling tired?
No, I'm good. I'm just thinking. I was just thinking how I'd love to see all these places. I've always thought about it. It'd be super cool
Yeah.
to go around and see a
Well,
bunch of the
one day,
ancient
man,
sites.
we'll go on an expedition together.
All right.
That'd be fucking dope.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Well, yeah. So I went to Thailand. I've been to Argentina.
Okay.
That was fun. There's some really cool waterfall out there called Iguazu Falls, and like makes Niagara Falls look like it's sad.
Like a baby.
It's not bigger, but it's more majestic and beautiful, like
Yeah.
the tropical type of scenery instead
Okay.
of like upstate New York.
Yeah.
You know, and like there's multiple waterfalls, and it's just really beautiful out in the jungle out there. They had like a jaguar crossing sign, like instead of like a like deer crossing signs.
Yeah.
They had jaguar crossing signs.
Holy
It's kinda
shit.
Cool. Argentina was cool, except I don't speak Spanish, so it was
Uh-huh.
a lot harder for me to like enjoy as much. Ironically, in Thailand, most of the people there speak enough English to where you can
get
communicate
by.
with most of the people.
Yeah.
And then I've been to South Africa.
Okay.
That was cool.
Did you go on like any safaris or anything?
I went out and did nature stuff. Like my buddy had like a place in the woods out there.
Yeah.
Forests. And it's just we hiked around out there and like did some stuff. I did go to a trance festival in the forest.
A trance festival?
Trance music, yeah.
Okay.
So mostly just
Like a
drum-
rave type
like
thing?
a rave, yeah.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun
That's interesting.
on New Year's, yeah.
South Africa.
Uh-huh.
A rave
They,
in South Africa.
they love trance music.
Did they bless the rains?
There it is. There it is. Yep. That was super fun. I had a lot of fun. I spent most of my time in Cape Town with a guy that I rafted with.
Okay.
He was from South Africa. I went on a small river trip, which was super fun.
See, like I want to go on a safari in Africa. That would be dope. But also, I hear that I don't know. I keep they tell you all these things you hear. Like you got to take the malaria pills. You got to do all
Yeah,
this. You got to
fuck
do
it.
that.
So you don't for South Africa. I know that.
Okay.
But like, yeah, parts of Africa for sure.
Yeah, and then but that shit fucks with you, and then it's like, okay, well if I'm all fucked up from that shit, like I'm not gonna have a
I
good
think
time.
I'll just wait until I'm like old
And it
for
doesn't
that,
matter.
where it's like, fuck it.
And I'm gonna go fight a lion.
It's gonna kill me. It's gonna kill me.
Well, see, that's the thing.
At
I
least I
want to
got
go
to
on a
see.
safari, but like with a reputable company that's not just gonna like. Because I've seen too many YouTube videos where people are getting snatched out of those fucking little
Have you ever
Humvees.
seen the video of the guy? I think he's like riding an elephant or something through the jungle, and like it's a video of a tiger just leaping up and just pouncing on him.
Oh shit! No, I did not see that.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
It
No.
cuts off very quickly. After
Oh, I
that.
bet. I imagine. No, I mean, if it was on Twitter, it would be fine.
Yeah.
I literally, and I don't know why I stayed so long in this video today, but like I watched it till about halfway through. And when I mean through, I'm talking about a guy's throat.
Wow.
They were just hacking away, sawing away, and the dude was alive the whole time,
Yeah.
screaming, begging, trying to hold him. And I'm just like, dude, they're already halfway through, man. You
Yeah.
better just let it go.
Have you seen that footage from
You're not going to make it.
the Moscow attack? Have you seen the footage of that?
I don't know if I have.
God, it's so graphic.
I
They were
remember
literally
probably
doing
I don't know if
that.
I want to.
They were literally doing that, going around
Really?
and shooting people and doing that.
Ugh. The most graphic thing I'd seen like video like that was probably 15 years ago, but it's probably still on the internet. But there was like a politician in Pennsylvania, and he like killed himself, like shot himself in the head at a live press
I
conference.
saw that.
It was messed up.
It was like a revolver, and he pulled
And he
it out.
had it in a
Yep.
like envelope that he had pre-stashed.
He had
Yeah.
just gotten caught for using like funds and money and fraudulent.
Yeah,
shit like
those
that.
guys don't want to face the fucking music, man. They just want to,
Yeah.
play without consequences. That's not how the world works.
Well, for some,
For sure, for some.
I don't know. There's just so many that deserve it and don't get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what else, man? Where else have you been? What else other crazy shit have you done?
I mean, I've done a lot of crazy shit.
Your mom's watching, so not too crazy.
Maybe not. Are you still watching, Mom? Mom, text me if you're still watching. No,
That's one way to check.
I mean, I'm trying to think if I've been to any other. I don't think I've really been to any other cool. I mean, I spent a little time in China, like 5 days before I went to Thailand.
Okay.
Hong Kong, that was cool.
Yeah?
It was dope. I loved it. Out
That was when it was under British rule, huh?
I believe that ended before.
Before
but
you
it was
went-
still.
okay.
But it was still like different. It was separate. They had their own little economy.
They hadn't switched it over.
They hadn't completely switched it over to China,
Yeah.
Chinese control.
So you weren't there during the riots and all that shit. That's
No,
good. Yeah.
no.
That was ugly. I don't know how things are going over there right now. I don't know.
Pretty quiet.
Yeah, they don't
really pay attention to that.
They don't let us see much.
No, they really
It's,
don't.
Pretty purposeful.
It's crazy how they block shit from us to them.
We broadcast our shit everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that is an American thing, I believe. And the rest of the world just kind of follows suit, except China. You know, but everybody wants to tell everybody everything all the time.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, my mom is still watching.
What's up, Aunt Norma?
Everybody wants to share information and opinions and have their own platform.
Well, you know, that's what we're doing here.
That's what we're doing here.
So we'll
Literally.
keep some of the craziest stories maybe out of there.
Yeah.
One of the cooler rafting trips I went on, I'll never forget. I got asked to do this private trip down the Middle Fork with this group called the Earth's Temple. And the guy that was in charge was he was a shaman called Bearheart. But we went down, did the hard rapids, camped on the side of the river for 2 days, and we did ayahuasca the first night.
All right.
That was super fun. It was and I needed it at that time in my life.
Yeah.
So that was.
How was that?
For me,
I don't believe I've ever met anyone that's actually done it.
For me, it wasn't I didn't get the purge like a lot of people get.
Yeah.
I don't know how big of a dose or how small of a dose he gave me, but I felt like I was being embraced in a hug by something or someone that cared about me.
Now I hear a lot
all
that
night.
people see entities or a lot of it like what is it like tigers and shit like that they'll see and
Small blue people.
Yeah.
I didn't have a
visual?
a visual journey. I just had a feeling of being comforted and being really
like you're loved.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard to explain, really.
well, that's what everybody says. It's like they're no matter what it is, whether it's visuals or anything, it's always a feeling of love.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard people say that the more you do it, it's like they want to teach you things. You can definitely feel like there's something there.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not alone. It's not just in your head. Like there's something there, and they want to teach you something.
It was a cool trip.
Yeah, really.
But he was cool. All the people on the trip were cool. I got paid to do it.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That is. Yeah, that's a plus, right?
Yeah.
Time and place is here.
What's up, BC?
Yo. He said, "What's up, Patrick?" Then he said, "The elves that turn the gears of the universe." I fucking love that.
Brandon's cool
Love that.
people.
Love
He's good people. But yeah, I believe heavily in mushrooms. I don't do anything else. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Weed. I mean, I have vape, but
Yeah.
I may partake in
Yeah.
the fungus, and I definitely think that every time I've done it, I learn something. And what they say is that the biology of a mushroom is closer to that of a human than anything, apparently, because it breathes, and there is. You want to get into conspiracy theories? Here we go, Pat.
Let's go.
That have you heard of the theory of panspermia?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like where a living organism travels in on a meteor or whatever, and then lands here and then populates the earth. Well, a lot of people think that that's how mushrooms got here, and that it is an alien species, and that it does try to talk to you when you take it. Like it wants you to take it. It wants you to ingest it.
100%.
And
Definitely wants you to ingest it.
yeah. And if you're not just one of these goofy bitches that just takes it and they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, man. If you actually listen and slow down,
like
you'll
trying
actually
to-
learn some shit.
Yeah.
Talk to you.
That's what was cool about that river trip was it was the first time I had ever done something in a ritualistic, spiritualistic type of environment
Right.
setting
Almost with a shaman.
with intention.
Yeah.
I did it with intention. We he had us before we did any drugs or anything, we just kind of all stood by the river and just screamed as loud as we just let it all out. Anger, frustration, whatever.
Yeah.
And just it was cathartic.
Well, that's one of the things I've often heard is a lot of those things will, whatever shit you're bottling up, it goes, no. Here, deal with this.
Right.
Especially that ayahuasca.
Yeah.
you know.
So we got that out.
Yeah,
Right at
yeah,
the
yeah.
beginning. And then we
That's
also
smart.
then sat and talked about like what we wanted out of this experience and like what kind of experience we wanted. And
Trying to tailor make it a little bit, like plan your trip. No, that's great, man. I think the same. I think you need to do the same with mushrooms.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
There
I
should
don't-
be intent.
BC chimed in again. He said, it's an intergalactic phone voicemail.
It sounds about right.
Panspermia.
I'll
That's
never forget
awesome.
the first time I did mushrooms with my friend Tim. He'd never done them before, and
Uh-huh.
I'm in college, and we like went out and like partied that night, and he was high all night. I lost him. We found him the next day, and he was convinced he just needed to do mushrooms every day. He's like, I need to do that every day for the
This is
rest.
the shit. This is where I live now.
It was funny.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do them every day. I think it's like a maybe twice a year type of thing for me.
Well, have you ever experimented with like microdosing mushrooms? That I could do every day.
Oh yeah, no, we never did the micro. We usually try to go hard.
Yeah.
You know, hard in the paint.
Yeah, but if you eat just a little bit of mushrooms
Yeah.
every day, like it honestly just takes away like a lot
what I
of people's
hear.
anxiety. It just kind of like
Pain.
puts you in a better mindset and like you're more open and receiving of other people.
Right. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. I just like I don't know. I like I want to see the fucking aliens. You know
yeah.
what I mean? I haven't yet.
You want to go on that like 2-day bender of an experience.
That's what you want to hear.
No, I don't ever get that. You know, when I would get the wah-wahs was when I was doing whippets back when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
You know, then you get the
No, I just mean like an alien talking to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know.
You should try DMT because it only lasts like 20 minutes.
Right.
But you blast off.
That's
for,
what I
like,
hear.
20 minutes. Like the first time I did that, I smoked some on a bowl of weed out in the middle of the woods in California, and I like
Oh, you did it with weed.
yeah, and I thought I was gonna throw up at first. I like went to throw up and nothing came out, and then I looked down at my feet and all the pine needles and stuff like just became orange and green, and then started becoming part of my legs, and then I was like part of the ground. I felt like Groot.
Oh my
Like,
god.
it was
That's
insane.
intense.
Yeah, it was super intense. And then like as it started to wind down, I'm just sitting there just like talking to this, looking at a potato that I swear I was talking to. I was talking to this potato, bro.
Talking to a potato.
It was fun though. There it is, plug.
Yeah, hopefully I get a little kickback from Nikon
Yeah.
Yeah.
/Red. No, that is fucking intense, dude.
Super fun.
I don't know. Yeah.
And then since then, all I do is like they make these like vape pens, kind of like the weed vape pens.
Okay.
And they have DMT in them.
Get the fuck out.
And yeah, I recently did some with my dad in California. That was
What?
Wow.
sat on the back porch. And
Yeah, but that's like Torre illegal.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. What's the law? Is it written? Is there anything written? I mean, what are we talking about? What kind of games?
Nothing's
are we playing
illegal
right
if you
now?
don't get caught.
Yeah. No, I heard there was a comedian Ari Shafir. Like he did it.
He dosed Bert Kreischer with something.
Well,
That's-
yeah, but that was a different time. That was Molly. But they're past that. But he did DMT, I think, for the first time. And when he came to, he was like, I literally lived a whole other lifetime. He's like, I had a family, a wife, kids, a house. He's like, it felt like I was gone for 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's nuts.
It was like,
Did
what,
he
6
just-
minutes, I
Did
think?
you just keep dosing?
Like
it? That was-
15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes about 15, 20 minutes. I never really did too much outside of that first time where it was like super visual like that. But me and my buddy would just take one hit or two, and we would do it like once a month. And he was living on my property at the time. This guy Travis, a good friend of mine, and he would just bring the little DMT pen up. We'd take a couple of hits, sit back in the chair, lean back, look at the clouds just start melting, and the trees start breathing,
Wow.
and like everything's just more alive.
Yeah.
And we just start laughing
Oh, yeah.
at everything and nothing at the same time.
It's been a while since I've giggled like that.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah.
Love some DMT.
The first time I did the spores, we went and camped out, like tent camped, and it was beautiful. Like you look up and there's like the tree canopy, and then you could see all the stars. And where we were at, there's like no fucking light pollution, so you could literally see the stars. And in Jacksonville, which is hard to find, but I swear I got caught in the Matrix, and I to this day I feel like we were in a loop. It was either that or it was a family of what are those critters? Those armadillos. And it was either the family of armadillos, and they were all going to the same place via the same path, or it was the same fucking armadillo that kept getting lost and coming around in a circle, or we were in a glitch. Because I'm sitting there in front of a fire, and I'm just zonked. I'm just gacked. And I had a bag of trail mix, a big bag of trail mix, and I'm just shoveling that shit in my mouth. I wasn't even hungry,
Yeah.
And I see this fucking thing, and it goes like the fire's here. There's a chain link fence, and it just walks casually in between the fire and the chain link fence to the right. And then I'm just sitting there, and I'm talking to Alana, and I'm like, we're talking, and then all of a sudden I hear rustling in the leaves again, and I see this fucking thing going in the same path again, and I'm like, and it did it probably 10 times. So that when you see that. And it looked like the same size and everything. I'm like, is this fucking armadillo fucking with me? Like, is it like, he's like, these guys are high.
He's like, maybe like
doing laps around them.
Yeah. He's like, we're going to make them think they're like stuck in the Matrix.
Maybe when you take mushrooms, they know they like connect with you.
Oh, I think animals can sense it when you're on
I think
drugs.
they seek out mushrooms too.
Well, I know that like when I'm around my dogs and stuff when I'm tripping, like they can sense it for sure.
Yeah.
They can sense that.
How do they act?
Just it's hard to
Do
explain.
they act differently, or
They don't necessarily act differently, but they seem like they can sense that you're acting differently a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're, I don't know,
Intuitive
to it. Maybe.
Yeah. I believe that. I believe that. It's crazy, the shit that they say dogs can see. I've always joked, you never seen a dog tilt their head like that whenever you ask them a silly question, and they go, like, when they do that, they can see into a third dimension. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just bullshitting now. But, they apparently they can see, like, it seems to be that they can see ghosts and shit. Do you believe in ghosts?
Actually, ironically, I believe in spirituals. I'm a spiritual person. Like, I believe that there's definitely things out there. One of the things that has always stuck with me is the story you told me about Bianca and your dad.
Yeah.
And
that was a crazy story.
And like, I still get chills. Like, I tell people this story actually all the time.
Yeah.
And I still get chills when I tell it. But for those of you listening, basically, I'll let Jim tell the story because he was actually there.
Well, it's kind of a long. I'll try and condense it, but the long and the short is, my daughter Bianca was like maybe 2, and just at that age where they're like talking barely, but like not really forming sentences. Just like kind of repeating words. And earlier that night, we were kind of just chilling in the bedroom. Just my wife at the time was getting ready for something bed, or I think she was just getting ready for bed. And I was sitting on the bed with my daughter, and, she just out of nowhere, like we were just chilling, and out of nowhere she like puts her hand on me and looks at me in the eyes, and she just goes, and I'm going to repeat it in baby talk. So, she goes, "Him love you." And I was like, okay, I was just like, I just dismissed it. I was like, what are you talking about? Because baby talk, that's all she's been doing till this point. And then she said, him sad. And I was like, what? And I said, are you hearing this? And then we just she was like, yeah. We were like, okay, all right. That was just, we just kind of dismissed it. So whereupon we go out and we start watching TV or whatever, and we're just chilling for the night. And she comes up to me and like puts her hand on my leg and starts insisting that I fucking pay attention. And the more, if I wouldn't pay attention to her, she got frustrated, but she was like, him love you. And then she goes, him head hurt. And I was never told, my dad took his own life. I was never told where, how he shot himself or whatever, but I would assume it was in the head. And then she got my attention, and the wife was still not really, she was kind of ignoring it a little bit. I think she was scared her, it scared me. I was like, what are you talking about? This child who's only done gibberish and baby talk and repeat things that you say, like say mama, say dada, whatever. And that's all she would say. And now she's like forming sentences. And it's not like, we didn't let her watch TV with us or movies or crazy shit. I don't know where she's getting these words from. And then she points back to her room and she goes, him love you. He liked. And I was like, I don't understand. I don't, it was creeping me out that she was saying all these things, but I was just like, I don't understand. So she started pulling my hand, like, come with me. I want to show you. And then I said, all right. So I get up and I go to her. We're walking towards her room and she's pointing to her room the whole time. She goes, him love you, him light. And I go in the room and I turn on. I was like, you want me to turn your light on? And then I turn the light on and she's like looking around like she's looking for somebody. And then she goes, him gone. And I'm like, what? Okay, now I'm freaked out. And right outside her bedroom, we had a hallway when we had all the like family photos of like her family and my family. And I was a picture of my dad sitting in one of those like hanging rattan chairs. He was a photographer. And apparently it was a self-portrait that he did, black and white. And she literally, like, we're walking out of the hallway, and it's a kind of a narrow hallway. And when we get near that photo, she stops and puts her hand on it, and she goes, and then looks at me and goes, him love you. I gotta tell you, like, I lost my shit. I mean, yeah, like chills, like I was crying, like I'm like, did my fucking dead father like communicate with my daughter? Like it was like, whoa. I called my grandmother, his mom. I called my mom. I called everybody. I was like, yo, dad is like communicating through my daughter,
Yeah. So needless to say,
Yeah.
yes, I do believe in spirits.
All that to say this. But oddly enough, I don't really know if it's I don't discount that there's something that happens after life. The energy has to go somewhere. Whether it stays in a form that we know, like, do we keep the form that we're in when we die? Do we assume a form that we want to assume that?
I feel like you could probably present yourself to people in whatever way that they want to see you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Which is, the fact that she kept saying he's light, it was kind of like interesting to me. And then she saw his face and she was like, that guy.
Yeah.
She didn't know who he was. She never met him.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, yeah, for sure. And then, like, I don't know, I like to think that we come back and live different lives, like reincarnations.
Who was
appealing to me?
Is it the Buddhas that
Yeah.
think that you come back and live life until you get it right? And then you can
until
rest?
you reach enlightenment, if you will.
Something. Which, I mean, who the fuck reaches enlightenment?
Or what if we never do? What if we just keep experiencing different types of life? You might not always be a person. Maybe
Yeah.
you come back as like a bird.
Well,
or,
I also heard a theory that you keep coming back until you've lived every single life that's ever lived. Like you become every person that's ever lived. You go back, and time is irrelevant apparently in this scenario.
if it's a circle, right?
Yeah.
And like time is secular, or even like multiple dimensions, where like you could be living different lives, different times, all at the same time.
I mean, that whole theory. I mean, there could be, three guys sitting in a studio like this, somewhere else in another timeline having the same fucking conversation, but like, a blue shirt and a red shirt.
Right.
Who knows?
An interesting one that I always thought is like, what if the colors that we see, right? Like what I'm seeing when I look at this, there's no scientific way to prove that I'm seeing what you're seeing.
Right.
We have just been taught that this side is like pink or whatever you want to call it, and this side is gray. But you might see an entirely different color, but you were called and told this color your entire life to identify it as that.
Program.
But there's no way to know that we're all seeing the same color.
Right. It's nutty.
Yeah.
There was something that just brought up in my brain, and I fucking just lost it. Oh, stupid brain. It's all right. It'll come back in a minute. There was another one of those theories.
There's some good ones out there.
I'm surprised you're being so quiet.
Yeah, Patrick,
I'm
what do you
sorry.
got for us?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm stuck on the Stone Dave theory right now.
Okay.
I really am.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Stone Dave theory has me intrigued. The
Yeah.
whole doubling of the size of the human brain in a very short amount of time just intrigues me, and I think it coincides with mushrooms and coincides with like the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah.
And how people used to think that, and this is how it was interpreted, but people would think that at night when it rained, and in the morning when the mushrooms would appear, it would be semen from a god.
Did you read John Marco Allegro's
I read it a little bit.
The Sacred Mushroom and the
but not-
Cross?
Yeah, no, I didn't read it.
Well, and
but-
they talk about like the apple, even in the story of Eden. was
Yeah.
like a mushroom, right? Like a red,
Right.
Yeah.
Amanita muscara mushroom.
Yeah, that's
Ideally.
the tree of knowledge.
Yeah.
The idea is even like Santa Claus has like very like mushroom cult roots.
Yeah, because they would always grow underneath a coniferous tree, which is the Christmas tree.
Yep.
And then you know when they would pick them, they would take them and put them in a stocking and hang them over the mantle to dry them out. And they
Yep.
were red and white.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of correlation there.
They had caps, like the red and white
Right.
cap.
But I'm going to tell you, if you've never read that book, and I couldn't even get through the whole thing, and I was just listening to it on an audiobook, there is just, it's out there. It's really out there. But this guy, apparently John Marco Allegro, he was like some sort of, I can't remember if he was like a priest or he was some kind of holy guy, you know, whatever. But he went and he traveled and he studied for like 14 years or something like that. I'm probably getting
Kind
that
of like
wrong.
Ari Shafir.
Well, he studied
Yeah.
the Dead Sea Scrolls, and you know he knew how to he studied how, basically came up with a cipher to translate everything because in that language, I don't know what it exactly was, Aramaic or whatever the fuck it is, like numbers equal letters and letters equal numbers, and so it's like really hard to translate, and then certain words mean 18 different things. So you know it's almost like you just kind of have to put your own spin on it. But what he got was it was a lot of like sexual shit with the mushrooms.
Yeah, it was a lot of breeding rituals.
and religion, you know, and how all those things tied together. And it was just like, you know, he talking about the shape of the mushroom and how it resembled a penis and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, dude, it just got too out there for me. Like, you know, I'm gonna finish it eventually, but it's just it's a lot of wild ass. You know, it kind of cost him his career.
Huh.
You know.
Yeah, but I mean, stranger things have happened.
Well,
What's
you know,
in the Vatican?
well, I was just gonna bring them up. You know,
What the fuck is in the Vatican?
the funny thing is, after he wrote that book, the Vatican did not want him to release that book. He did anyways, and they bought all the copies and the rights to the book.
Interesting.
So that's a little hokey. And then years later, it was released, and somebody actually got the rights to it, and then was able to re-release the book.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how we have it now, unless you were back then.
Yeah.
And, you know, you had a copy.
Patrick will like this one. There's a theory called the Empire of the City. I think it was a book written, I don't know, in like the 40s, 50s, 60s, something like that. The idea being that the entire Western world and Western civilization is run by 3 cities, right? Vatican City controls things spiritually and religious.
New York
religiously.
City controls things.
No.
Okay.
The inner city of London controls things financially,
Oh.
where they also are like a separate city-state within London, just like Vatican City. And then Washington, D.C. controls things militaristically, which is also a separate city-state with its own police force, different laws within our own, you know, societies, just like the Vatican, just like the inner city of London.
Never heard that.
And that, ironically, all 3 of them have giant obelisks
Mm.
in the middle of them. The Vatican has, I think the Vatican has Cleopatra's Needle that they actually brought from Egypt. They
cool.
took an obelisk from Egypt and then erected it in Vatican City.
Correct.
And then you have the Washington Monument, and then I forget what the one is called in the inner city of London. But that's the theory.
Yeah, there's so many crazy things that we have done since the dawn of our known civilization. You know, and it's just like, I mean, all the crazy shit that we talk about now, you know, like fucking ley lines and paganism and all this, you know, Christianity. And it's just like, these are all, in my brain, I'm just like, these are all people's interpretations of what they've read in the books of men.
Yeah.
You know, men wrote the books.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, I have a hard time, you know, I was raised religious, you know, and I just didn't, I got to a certain point, I think when I was like 12, and I was just like, I kind of stopped. And, you know, even into my older age now, I'm just like, how can I really trust something that was written by dudes? You know, I mean, and it was translated. Don't forget. The problem is, it was translated from one language to another language to another language to another language. Yeah, I mean, like how much shit was
it's filtered.
lost, or like that what is it, Chinese telephone or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Or
So-
whatever, where you play the telephone game.
Yeah,
One
like
or
I
the
tell you something, and by the time it gets through 30 people to Patrick, it's something completely different.
other.
Or I put my own spin on it. People are fucking not infallible. So I think a lot of times it's to control the narrative.
Yeah.
You know, you scare people, you put the fear of God, quotey fingers, into people, and it kind of keeps people in line. You know, especially back then. Not now. People don't give a fuck. We're in Sodom and Gomorrah now. You know, I mean, like we're all going to be turned to salt.
Yeah. Well, and then they talk about like one strategy of like governments and institutions to quell these thoughts is to allow certain information that's true to be leaked, but then flood it also with just ridiculous things. So then it discredits the truth of the things that are true, because then you just get lumped in with the crazies that believe the far extreme versions and things of any said conspiracy or topic. Another interesting one, Patrick, that you may or may not have heard of.
The Obama speech, though. You pump enough raw sewage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't think I
What's
heard
the other
that.
one, though?
Oh, the other one is like the theory that like, Jesus Christ historically, right, was possibly the son of Julius Caesar and Cleopatra, where kind of parallels the Bible story. He like had to leave and be taken away, and the theory has been somewhat made reputable because some guy was in a Tibetan monastery and he found some like writings that this guy named Isu was there in that time period that had come from the far Middle East or whatever and had spent time there. And then the theory is that, he left, went, studied Eastern philosophy, came back, and instead of trying to take back his father's empire with power, he created religion to take back the empire through idea. And if that's true, it worked, because we still have the Holy Roman Catholic Church.
So how do you explain the water and the wine and healing people?
Well, those are all just parables and tales. He created a myth, a tale, spread propaganda, used it to gain a following, and then
Heaven's Gate, motherfuckers.
And then gained a large enough following that he was able to. The Roman Empire adopted Christianity because it became so much of a problem that all of its people were following it. But that's the theory.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never heard that one.
If you look at like,
I've often wondered though, like, what if Jesus was just a dude,
right?
Just like one of those full of shit dudes, and people are like, oh my god, and they believe.
Yeah, well, so Cleopatra was considered, she like proclaimed herself the goddess Isis, which in Egyptian mythology gave an immaculate birth to her godson Horus.
Right.
And then Julius Caesar was considered to be a god, like the god emperor.
Right.
So like the parallel is there. He would have, his father would have been killed or whatever. Then he had to like leave.
Yeah.
Just like he had to flee the Pontius Pilate, Jesus did, and whatnot, or whatever, had to flee whatever the Roman leader was at the time. It's just thoughts.
Wow.
Yeah, there's so many different branches on that tree that you could go follow, and I don't know. I just have a hard time. I think I have a feeling that it's much older than Caesar and Cleopatra. I can't help but to think that it was more of like a story of a past civilization that got fucked because they got too greedy, and I think it's a lesson that was taught for us not to follow what paths to follow and what not to, and I think it's been just so misconstrued over time, with just even down to the basic meaning of religion.
I think we fucked it up.
I think we fucked up big time. I think we need to take a U-turn.
You ever seen that like image of like the caveman, and then it gets to us, and it like turns around? It's like, we got to go back.
I
have a shirt that I bought, and it's a caveman to man, and then the last one's a sheep.
Yeah, really. Well, there's this isn't, it's not, I don't know if it's a theory or what it is, but it's like when a society or a civilization reaches a certain point, it starts eating itself.
Yeah.
It starts kind of like it will basically, and that's kind of what happened to like the Roman Empire. They get
Universe 25, I think it was.
they get too greedy or whatever, and that guy Graham Hancock, he always says we are a species with amnesia, and what he means is that he believes that there's been multiple civilizations, just thousands of civilizations that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
That could have been far more advanced than us. Why are we so arrogant to think that we are the most advanced just because we have what we have?
Right.
And we think the way we think, and we can communicate the way we communicate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we have these abilities, but we don't use them. But again, who are we to say that we're number one? This is it. But we're going to even get to a point where we're like, shit's going to happen. We're going to get too much, too fast, and it's just going to be over, and it's going to start all over again.
Yeah. Well, we've created different problems than our previous societies, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't know if they had nukes back then.
No.
Or AI, which is like you talked about earlier. I think there's two ways that goes. Either we get replaced by AI life forms, or we become cyborgs and if we have to basically incorporate with technology to where it's part of us.
Well, I mean, how do we know that that's not just part of our evolution? We've evolved.
Well, Joe Rogan says that all the time too, where it's like, what if we're like a butterfly, basically, or like a caterpillar? And like the cocoon is like this technology that we're building that we seem driven to build all the time, and we're just building this little cocoon, and out of it will come this new life form of technology that. I think he never mentions it, but I'm thinking you're thinking in Transformers, right? Like you're thinking of a life form that is completely inorganic but sentient, can replicate, can you know what I mean? Can essentially live forever.
Right. Yeah. I mean that, or fucking Cyberdyne, but yeah.
Or Ultron or whatever.
Yeah.
That same type of.
What if the UFOs are just AI in its ultimate form?
But that's what I was saying to Russell. He was asking me about that, some theories, and I was like, I honestly, I'm like, dude, I think that shit's us, and I mean, I feel like they figured out the whole space-time continuum, and they're just like, I mean, if you think about what we've known, what we've been told by the media, which, again, could be bullshit, but what a gray is, those grays. Okay. I mean, you think of, people are staying inside a lot more, and it's going to just get worse with the AI and with the little fucking, Apple Vision Pros and shit like that. It's gonna get worse with video games, and it's gonna get to a point where we won't be able to tell which is real and which is not. And when that happens, people are gonna be staying and living more in that. And your eyes, they're gonna get wider because you're looking at these big screens, and your head. It might get bigger. Who knows? Because you're computing all this power, all this shit now.
Become more hairless,
and slim.
Say we start reproducing through just creating in lab test tubes and stuff.
Embryo.
CRISPR.
You wouldn't need genitalia. You would probably evolve to
You've heard about CRISPR, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, it's like the genetic thing where they're like, oh, you want your baby to have blue eyes and blonde hair? Done. What else? They can pull the genes out of you. That's just crazy to me.
Well, I mean, I think we're moving towards altered carbon.
Yeah.
Where you can download your consciousness or avatar, if you will.
Yeah.
And then put it in a new body, a new vessel.
Oh,
which then you think, why wouldn't you put it in something that's completely inorganic that can't be broken down as easily?
Right.
Does that make you question what the meaning of your soul would be?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great question.
Because if you're just a copy of everything that's in your brain,
right.
which we can't do that now because we don't even know how the brain works. I'm basically a moron, so I don't have any idea how that shit works. But, I mean, if you just copy your thoughts and feelings and all that shit, are you actually you?
But
yeah,
what would be your most precious things? It would be your memories, right? Because you develop through your life, and you incorporate memories, and you learn from you learn how to talk. I mean, you just learn so many different mannerisms throughout life, and I just feel like there's a substance of a matter within you that has to be solid material.
That was there. That's just that part of you that existed before that. That was then you molded its other aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't
know. How do you download that?
I don't think it'll matter at that point. I feel like it won't matter at that point. Like it's not going to. We don't even have it's not even going to be our problem because that's not going to happen.
No,
in
they
our
actually
lifetime.
like the theory. I just listened to Ray Kurzweil was on Joe Rogan a couple weeks ago, and he claims that it's probably like 2045, 2050 is when we'll reach the singularity.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, also, I read books when I was a kid about the year 2000.
Yeah.
And in the book, they showed flying cars and fucking people living on the moon and colonies and all this shit. Like,
yeah, but they didn't have AI back then.
it was very futuristic and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we're not even close to that.
Yeah, but we also just don't think that's necessary to do, but we all probably would love to live forever. So, like, they'll put money behind that.
Yeah,
They'll
some
put
people
research
do.
behind that.
I don't want to live forever.
You know? Like, people, but that's because partially, like, your body hurts. Like, I know me personally, but if you could live in your prime of your life physically and then continue to
forever?
grow, who knows, until, like, indefinitely, really. I don't know.
Yeah, but okay, think about that. The planet is going to burn out one day.
If you can live forever, you put that shit on a spaceship, you go to a different planet.
I guess. I didn't think of
I guess here's my issue with everything is the quality of life that people can have with this technology. There's going to be people who have power, like you guys said earlier, when the society gets this big, there's shitty people that rise up to the top because they think it's a game. Who are we to say that this technology isn't going to be used to enslave the masses of some sort?
that. Meaning we already are.
But in a different, more hostile way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if they would be able to have enough resource and material to be able to entertain everybody at a level and keep them fed and proactive and happy.
Well, if we're living in inorganic bodies, it won't matter. But
yeah.
I mean, and by then, who's to say what is quality of life? What quality of life it might look different to us? You know?
Yeah.
Like right now, quality of life is like I want to spend more time with my kids. I want to spend time with my grandkids. I want to go see sights. I want to go visit these cool places and see these natural wonders of the world. You know, but at that point, you know, for us, for all we know, I mean, fucking who knows what it's going to look like.
I have a theory that we are that frog, you know, in the boiling pot, and right now we're just starting to get to the point where it's getting uncomfortable. Boiling point, and we're about
very uncomfortable.
You know what I mean? With just the way they monetize everything, our time, 8 hours, 9, 10 hours a day, and just the way everything's structured.
Well, that's why I say we're slaves to we're slaves to social media. We're slaves to this. We're slaves to work. We're slaves to everything.
More like indentured servants.
Whatever.
But when AI's
sharecroppers,
when AI is more prevalent and everything's algorithm based, I just don't see how a quality of life is going to be any better.
I mean, maybe at first, I feel like maybe at first it'll like be something that's like helpful and beneficial to mankind, and then eventually those things are going to go. These biological beings are inefficient, and they're basically destroying this fucking place where we live. We don't need them.
Well, and it has the potential to be amazing or awful.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And that's with anything.
With our track record, sadly.
Yeah.
We're probably going to do some awful things with that technology before we do amazing things.
100%. Yeah, I mean that's just like back to what I was saying about the peak of civilization and then dying off. Like when in species, you know, you see species that were endangered or whatever. They like it's. I read somewhere that when they get to like just a massive amount of their species, and it's almost like overabundance. They're like, okay, now it's like that's when they start to drop off and they end up on that endangered species list.
Yeah.
And I feel like human beings we're getting close to that point.
Yeah. Or does it just get down to like almost eliminated, which may or may not have happened several times. And then we just have to start over.
How many
times?
A reset
button.
How many times? Well, literally, how many times were they sitting there with their finger over the button? You know, like, oh, and if one goes, they're all going, and we're all fucked up. We're all fucked. I mean, that's a bad rap, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it does happen, if that ever happens, I hope I'm like right in the middle. It's like ground fucking zero with blast zone. I don't want to be around. I don't want to be riddled with fucking radiation cancer and trying to survive on eating rats and roaches and shit.
I played a lot of Fallout, so like.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to fight other people for food and shelter. I don't want any of that stuff. I just want to be gone and done. You know, just give my family a big old squeeze hug, and then just bite it. You know, see you in the next fucking thing, whatever happens.
Yeah. Or just be born back into it in your next
Start
life.
all over again.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. How do you not know? You know?
I used to always say this with things like psychedelic experiences. For me, it's like we can never really see the full picture, right? But we always catch little glimpses of it. Like when you see a perfect sunset, or a beautiful painting, or something, and in that moment, for that split second, everything makes sense for just a split second. But we can't hold on to it, and you get that sometimes. I feel like, when doing psychedelic drugs, where like things make sense and it's
like
a little
mass
weird.
deja vu.
Yeah. But like you can't quite see the full entirety, the full picture of everything. You just get little glimpses of it, and then it's gone in a fleeting second.
Yeah. That's sad.
Or is it amazing?
It's amazing?
Yeah, like it just keeps you curious, I feel like, at a healthy level.
Yeah.
Like when you're taking them.
Yeah, I'm curious about a lot of shit, you know, but I don't know, man. I just want to, like, this life, it's the only one I get, you know, in my brain.
Yeah.
You know, I might be proven wrong, but I won't know. And that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
like,
think about it. We're here now. If I did live a past life, I don't remember it.
Right. Well, have you heard of past life regression, like hypnosis?
Oh, where people get like drawn back to their...
They get hypnotized, and they basically just tell them to keep going back and back and back, and they'll literally go into another life.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know how that works. Like, do they suggest anything to them? Like, are they suggesting, or are they just telling them to go further back in time? You know, because it's in there. Everything you've ever seen or known or read or anything, it's all in there. You may just not be able to access it.
Well, I believe in like genetic memory to an extent,
It's
right?
called,
Yeah,
the
that's
proper
for
term
sure.
is
Like the idea we were talking. What was that?
Epigenetics.
Yeah.
Is what it's called. Epigenetics.
Yeah, where like like we were talking about earlier, like we knew what sex was pretty much before,
Right away.
because like I've had dreams, and I've never been shot, but I've had dreams where I was shot, and then I have friends who have been shot, and what they describe is almost exactly what I felt it like in my dream. You know what I mean? So like perhaps somebody in my line of lives and past generations has been shot, and therefore or like my ancestor got shot, and genetically that feeling of knowing that pain and that feeling is passed on through you
100%.
subconsciously into your genetics.
Yeah, they did an experiment. When I say they, I don't know who, and I've never actually watched the experiment. It was just something that was read about. But there was an experiment with rats. You want mine?
That's better.
Yeah, Universe 25.
Universe 25.
Is that what it is? That's the one where they shoved all the rats into a small area, and then they populated. They made a big population, and then the population went down.
That's a little bit different. But
Okay.
what they were doing was they would there was like a control group or whatever the fuck it was, and and then there was the other rats. Well, like the experiment rats were the ones they would get a little shock, and the same time they would get the shock, a light would go off. Well, they did that to them, every day at the same time, whatever, and they just got kind of like used to it. They would freak the fuck out when they saw the light. The light would go off first, and then they would get the shock. So they would see the light, they'd freak the fuck out, like, oh shit, it's coming, and then bow. Well, then they bred those rats, and then they had their offspring, which they're the babies or whatever. They let them grow up separately from the parent rats, and they were like they raised them without their mom and dad, so they didn't it's not like they could have rat language and talk to each other about shit that was going down. Like, hey man, when you see the light, fucking run. It wasn't even like that. It was just they grew up, and they didn't do that experiment on them until they were like at their full grown stage. And then they put them in that same thing where they had their parents, and they flashed that light. And what do you think the rats did? They ran.
They ran.
They freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's that whole and that was they were trying to come up with like if we separate these rats at birth and never do the experiment on them, will they have the same genetic memory as their parents? And they did. They did the exact same thing. So yeah, genetic memory is for real. Like, that is a true thing. I really believe that.
Yeah. Shout out Assassin's Creed. Made that famous.
They did. They
Made
did
what?
market that. Yeah.
What?
Assassin's Creed, like you could go back and they would tap into your gene and they would go back into memories.
Like the game is
Yeah.
set up like you're this guy in present time, and they put you in this machine.
No, I know what you're talking about. I've seen the game. I just don't play fucking video games, man. I just don't got time
Oh
for it.
no! I mean, I was a kid when I played it, so. But,
I mean,
yeah.
I go through phases.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get back into it and get like hooked, or like a good game will come out that I want to play, and I'll buy it and I'll beat the shit out of it.
Well, I'm a
week
sore
or two.
loser. So like if
Yeah.
I can't beat the game or if I'm not any good at it, I rage quit. Like the girls used to have me play Call of Duty, zombies and shit, and I would just literally immediately get killed. I just couldn't hang.
I tried to have my dad play once. It was pretty funny.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just spinning around in circles, just getting shot every time.
Yeah, it's pretty sad when us old fellas.
Damn boomers. Just kidding.
I don't know. Am I a boomer?
You're
I
an
don't fucking
Xer.
know.
You're an X.
I don't fucking know.
You're
I
Gen
hate
X.
all that shit.
You're Gen
I
X.
hate those fucking labels. Like, motherfucker, why do we got to have labels?
That's how we organize things. That's
And
how
this
we
new generation,
make things make
Yeah.
sense.
Generation Alpha.
Everything has to have a title.
Bullshit,
Well, yeah, we have to in order to make things make sense.
I
We
guess.
gotta
For whom?
give words to it.
Yeah.
How about the idea that like something can't exist without its opposite? Like love couldn't exist without hate.
Right.
Because you wouldn't know the difference, right?
Yeah.
Dark wouldn't exist without light.
Right.
Yeah. It's just interesting.
The moon and the sun are in love, but yet it's
can
star-crossed
never-
lovers. They
they
can
can
never
never-
be together.
Mm.
But they can. I've seen the moon during the sun time. So bullshit. I call bullshit. They be fucking.
I feel like when I was a kid, and maybe I just didn't look up at the sky as much back then, but I don't really recall that as often, like noticing it. And then when I moved out to California, I noticed it all the time, and now I see it here, even
Yeah.
in Florida. And it's just weird that I don't recall that phenomena as much. From
It's
my
weird,
younger
man.
years. Yeah.
I remember it from being a kid, and my mom used to say something. There was an old country saying or whatever, something like the moon slept with you last night or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but basically there was a thing that it was like to acknowledge that the moon is out during the daytime. All those older ladies, they have all their old sayings.
Uh-huh.
Like your mom probably, she's a young lady. She's very young and beautiful. And but she probably knows the saying.
Yeah. Yeah. If she were here right now, she'd probably know it.
Smack me in the back of the fucking
She's got
head.
a lot of sayings.
Yeah. Colder than a witch's tit and a brass bra.
Or like when it's raining and sunny, it's like
The devil's beating his wife.
yeah, or something like that.
I tell that to people nowadays, and they're like, "I'm sorry, what?" Because the thought of I don't know who came up with that fucking saying
Yeah.
and why,
Yeah.
but it's just it's a saying that I heard when I was young that everybody would say when it was fucking sunny out, but it
Yeah.
would rain.
Yeah.
Well,
and then a couple years ago, I actually looked up what it meant, but the one never look a gift horse in the mouth, and I never knew where it came from. But it was like,
Please do tell.
don't take advantage of like a good thing. But like, so what would happen is they would give horses away as like dowries or whatever.
Right.
When somebody gives you a horse, like they're very valuable, and you can tell a horse's age by its teeth. So they would say, never look a gift horse in the mouth. Like, don't look and see if it's just be happy with this
Yeah, just
horse
take
that
the
you're being
fucking
gifted.
horse.
It doesn't matter how old the horse is.
makes sense.
Don't you look that gift horse in the mouth.
This is a little fun factoid that it has nothing to do with anything, but you were talking about the gift horse in the mouth, and it just made me think of. You ever heard the saying "mind your p's and q's"?
Yes.
So p's and q's is your pints and quarts.
Okay.
So back in the day, they used to they would drug men and take them, abduct them, and put them on a boat. And you now work for that person. You are now a slave. And I don't know if you've ever seen those old school steins. They started putting glass bottoms, and when you would drink. See, these guys that were they would mark you, okay, and like to be taken, and they would drop like a penny or like a coin into your drink, and so when you would drink, you could see it at the bottom, and your friend would say, "Hey, Mind your P's and Q's,
Yeah.
So you put that shit down and leave.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What time period was this?
Way back.
Yeah, like what, like revolutionary, like 1700s, 16, like, because I guess people have been going to taverns though for a long time and drinking.
This was probably over in Europe.
Yeah,
before things came here. So a long time ago.
Damn.
Yeah.
The more you know.
The more
Back in 1602.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, did you look
Coming
it up?
through in the clutch.
Oh, he didn't even bother with going on the Google up here. He's like,
Sorry,
fuck that shit.
fuck that Yahoo shit keeps popping up. Yeah, Jacoby. Okay, whatever. I won't go over the history, but yeah, 1601. I believe it was in England here, but yeah.
Did I describe it right?
I believe so. Yeah, it looks like you did.
It looks like I did. Mind your P's and Q's. Yeah, they actually used to have trap doors right in front of the bar. That like once they would drug your ass and see you start to stumble, they would just and you'd just be gone. And then your buddy, you'd be standing right next to your buddy, you just go fucking gone.
Yeah, the town, and I lived in Forest Hill in California. It's an old mining town. It was actually at one point considered for the capital of California, which would be hilarious if that happened, but it did not. But in any case, they had a brothel across from the bar.
I'm listening.
And there was...
You had me at brothel.
There's a tunnel system that goes from the current bar still to the property across the street.
Right.
Where, people would go, so like people wouldn't see them going to the brothel. They would just go through the underground tunnel to the brothel across the way.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Doing sneaky things.
Sneaky stuff, yeah.
What are you doing? Nothing. I'm sneaking. My precious. That was creepy. Wow, that's creepy.
That was good.
Yeah,
That
I'm
was
gonna
really good.
try out for The Voice if they ever do a remake.
You should. Holy fuck, that's pretty good.
Stop.
Or if they do like a book reading, like book on tape thing. God, that's good.
He has practiced this a
Yeah,
lot.
really.
I love Lord of the Rings.
Where do you do your practice?
In front of your daughter.
On the crapper?
Yeah.
That's where I get all my practice.
Wait,
in.
do you want to hear my Schmiegel impression?
Oh my god.
You have put some work in, my
Yeah,
I have.
I'm thoroughly creeped out. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying the show. I hope you're enjoying the chat. I am. And that's the point. I enjoy it. I'm glad that we got to sit down and chit chat and hang out.
Hells yeah.
And but it's not like the normal show, for sure. Usually it's like but I've been kind of like
It's kind of like
veering off.
the Beauty and the Beard. You guys just kind of talk about whatever,
Right,
it is. So
right.
it's kind of like,
well, this is my
same.
show.
Yeah.
But yes, the Beauty and the Beard will be back. It was supposed to be tonight, but our friend Jennifer is, she's not feeling very well, and we talked about it and we decided on a date. I think. Let me see if I can pull up the date.
The 10th, I think maybe.
I think I said the 10th. I just want to make sure I'm not full of shit. I think I'm full of shit.
Oh, you're full of shit.
So the 10th would be a fucking Friday. I think. Wait. No. We're fucking at the end of March. I'm so stupid. No fucking retard. Oh, yeah, it would be the 10th. Yeah. So
Perfect.
This week is the 27th. Next week, I've got Josie and Cam coming back on. They're going to talk about the Jacksonville Fashion Experience camp that they're putting on.
Cool.
And then I think it's the 10th. I think, yeah. Josie and Jen and I will be back on the 10th with the Beauty and the Beard. And then on the 17th, I've got Upside Down Creative, Marshall Malone coming on. And he was a gentleman that used to work for that TV station that you worked for.
Channel 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe. I think.
Remember back in the day when my mom helped to organize that fashion show for the Children's Miracle Network?
I do not.
And Christy was a model.
I'm pretty
pretty positive.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, she helped organize a fashion show back in like the 90s for the Children's Miracle Network, and you had like the people calling in and donating money.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no fucking clue.
Yeah, she did that. Shout out, Norma.
Yeah, wow. That's big stuff.
I was there. Had fun.
Yeah?
There's always that one song that's like at everywhere where it's like, work, now turn to the left. Work, now turn to the right. Work.
Sachet Shantae.
Session. Do you know what that means?
No.
To sing, to dance.
Aha. Very good. Cultured swine you.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. But what the fuck was I gonna say? No. I one day I'm gonna get fit and I'm gonna model.
It's like my buddy Steve. He one time told me, he's like, I just got a CrossFit membership. I'm gonna look like Jason Momoa. I was like, bro, you're gonna need more than a CrossFit membership. You need some hair club for men.
I gotta tell you,
Testosterone.
that CrossFit shit, I feel like it can't be good for your body.
It's definitely like puts a hurting on your body. But what physical activity that's like repetitive and hard like that is? Like, look at NFL players who are in phenomenal shape, but their bodies are broken. Any real like athlete, like professional athlete, is broken.
Yeah,
They're all broken.
yeah. See, I don't want to be that guy that gets all fit and then does stuff. You know,
Yeah.
which I often have said before. Like, if you're going to get healthy and fit, you should be doing something with it, right? Like, what's the point otherwise? I just want to look good for myself. You know, I want to be able to walk around in the buff and be like satisfied,
Confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I can't do anything else with this area, but I mean, at least the rest of it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to go out hot when I die. I want to have a 6-pack when I die.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know that that's a possibility. For
Probably
me.
not. Oh, for you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant for
I'm
me.
a thick fella.
I thought you meant for me.
I've had some abs in my day, but not
You
like.
can get there.
I don't know.
If anyone can, you're closer than I am for sure.
I don't know if I want to put in that kind of work. A lot of that is diet, right?
Yeah.
I like food too much.
Yeah, and I've got a lovely lady that likes to cook too.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah,
I get
it's
it.
tough. It's tough. It's hard not to eat. And I love eat.
Them
I
firecrackers.
love
though.
to eat. Oh yeah, she made some firecracker crackers.
Whew.
Did you bring those in here?
No.
Oh,
No, those are going with me.
some crumbs of firecracker crackers. You can have that. So, I guess we'll wrap this motherfucker up. Yeah.
Dude, I had a blast. It was fun. Give me some nucks.
Don't forget, like I said, guys, next week, Josie and Cam come back and we talk about their Jacksonville Fashion Experience camp. And then we've got, did I say Marshall Malone after that? No. Wait.
No, then we have Jennifer Janeo on the 10th.
I think that's
and then
right. I think
Marshall on
that's
the
right.
17th.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Yep. And then who knows from there? Who knows? But go and get your time and place glasses. Check out, my boy at Stay Young Clothing over there. I just bought some stuff. It should be in tomorrow, so I'll be rocking that shit next week. Peace, love, and hair grease. I love you fuckers.
Hell yeah. Peace out.
See you next week.